I have to do my whole thing. You'll listen to the. All right. I'm gonna start again because it is decidedly unmetal to have the wrong opening. Just so you all know, we're gonna do that one more time. Sorry, gents, that was decidedly unmetal, but you know what? I can alleviate this problem right now, which I'm going to do. And I'm going to start again. How about that? So, let's try this again, folks. Pretend that didn't happen. Now let me get you in the mood. All right, after some technical difficulties, we're ready to start Midnight Metal episode 25. I hope you're ready to get it on. Yeah. I have the power. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, Robert Meyer Burnett, and I'm here with the 25th episode of Midnight Metal. And you know what that means? It means I've got my co-host, Mr. Dave Parker. Dave, are you feeling metal on this 25th show of this ridiculous program?
Man, 25 shows. I mean, I know I'm only in half of them, but I am feeling pretty metal. But I will say this, and I told you this, I'm going to let everyone know. I may have eaten something bad. My stomach's not agreeing with me, so I might be dashing more to the bathroom than normal if people want to take a shot every time I do. But this time it might be to hurl.
That is decidedly metal. And you know who else we have all the way from Norway? Andre, the impresario of Midnight's Edge himself. Andre, how are you doing?
It's
Andre,
awesome.
I have to tell you something. For some reason, and I don't know why, we can't hear you. And I have no idea why that is. That is
Oh
not...
no! But we do see your lovely drawing.
Yes, we can see you, but we can't hear you. Which doesn't make any sense to me at all. Why? Why can we not hear you? We have heard you in the pre-shows, and the chat can't hear you, and which doesn't make any sense at all. Let me try and figure that out. Hang on for a moment, Andre. I'll bring you back in a second. So, Dave, let me ask you this: what happened to you? What happened to you this week?
This week?
Yeah.
Well, Friday night, or actually Thursday night, midnight, was pretty exciting for me, and at least a couple people probably here watching, because Chaosium's new album called Second Skin, live in the studio, came out, got released, and it's their acoustic album, and it's fucking great. I mean, if you think that they're just like a one-note band, if that's what you thought, if you thought that they were, they're just a Korn copy or something like that, if you haven't listened to the album, you listen to this, you're going to be like, holy shit, there's a lot of range. They rearrange songs that are on their album, but then they add a few new ones. It's fantastic. So that was really good. I I read this the other night, and I just want to. I don't know if I think you guys can still get this if you're into this type of thing, but Rob, I know you will be. It is the Maniac graphic novel.
I was going to say, is that Joe fucking Spinell?
That's Joe Spinell.
That's the most metal shit ever.
On the back is
Caroline Munro.
Is Caroline Munro, and this graphic novel was done by Stephen Romano.
Now, why don't you tell the audience our connection to Stephen Romano? First of all, Andre, we can hear you.
Oh, can the audience hear me now as well? Because if so, that is very metal.
It's very metal. So, Andre, you're going to listen to Dave tell you about the Maniac graphic novel, but why Stephen Romano? Did he draw the whole thing?
No, this artist named Pat Carble was the artist on it. Stephen wrote the whole script. And here's the thing. It's not just a straight adaptation of the movie Maniac. And Stephen Romano, our connection with him is we've known him for a lot of years now. And he put out this book called Shock Festival that had a bunch of imaginary movies that he created poster art for and stories behind. And we used, for The Hills Run Red, all his poster art. We licensed his poster art because we didn't want a movie that had real movies in that world. We wanted to have a sort of alternate reality where these movies existed. So that's our connection to him. Now, this Maniac graphic novel is part adaptation and part Elseworld tangent because Joe Spinell's character gets stalked by the New York Ripper.
No way.
Absolutely. The New York Ripper is.
Why don't you explain to the audience who the New York, why that's cool?
The New York Ripper was from a Lucio Fulci movie called The New York Ripper. Probably could be his nastiest. It's certainly his most mean-spirited movie. It's on 4K if you want that. The killer quacks like a duck. There you go. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I don't think there's ever a reason why. He just quacks like a duck. And he's visualized, obviously, in this graphic novel. This graphic novel, though, is not for the weak at stomach, like I'm feeling right now. It's incredibly graphic and incredibly bloody, but it's a fascinating take on the whole thing. So that's really cool.
Andre, have you ever seen the horror movie Maniac from 1980, Dave? Is it 80?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's thereabout. I have, yes. I'm quite a fan of those slasher schlocky movies of the late 70s and 80s. That whole genre is pretty awesome stuff. Those are as metal as movies get, just about. And it's a shame that we can't get any such movies today. But
man, can you imagine somebody making that Maniac today?
I mean, people keep trying. They did remake it.
I did, yes, but I mean, it wasn't kind of really the same.
No, but it was still effective. It was still a good movie.
Yeah, I liked it, the Elijah Wood version.
Yeah, and speaking of metal, it was Lucio Fulci's birthday this week as well.
Oh, wow. Nice. That's something to celebrate. And he made some very metal movies. But the funny thing, though, is that movies like that kind of can be done on a Psycho Gorman budget. So movies like that, actually, in a way, we can get today because they can be done relatively indie.
But they won't have the same sort of I mean, that's the thing. Maniac is a cheap movie, but it's got production value. And, they just went and guerrilla filmed all through New York City, which you couldn't do now. So you couldn't get quite the same effectiveness. Plus, New York City is not the way it was then. No, and it's hard. And to be honest, there is no actor like Joe Spinell. I mean, that guy was 1 in a million, for sure. For sure, he's just batshit fucking crazy. But he's been in. I mean, he was in Taxi Driver. He was in The Godfather. He was in Rocky. I mean, this guy. And Rob's beloved Star Crash, of course. Can't forget Star Crash.
Count Zarth Arn.
Yeah. Crazy story. The Maniac 4K and Blu-ray have that amazing Joe Spinell story, almost feature-length documentary about him, which has got incredible footage of him hanging out with Spielberg when the Oscars are getting nominated for Jaws, and he doesn't get a nomination. Spinell's right there. The people.
What do they think? Your mother directed that movie?
Yeah. The Shock directed that movie.
The Shock did. I mean, it's amazing. Amazing.
It's incredible. Joe Spinell.
When did that graphic novel, would you get that? Amazon? I want to get that.
No, you can only get it through avonpress.com.
Wow, okay.
They're exclusive, and they've done a bunch of Fulci stuff. They've done The Gates of Hell, they've done Zombie, and what they do is they did House by the Cemetery, and they take the stories, but then they enhance them or go off on them and everything. And now they're getting ready to do Escape from the Beyond.
I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah, but they're really high quality. They come in like these slip cases, even the individual comic books. There's different tiers, and they come with a lot of extras. Sometimes they have like one of the Beyond comics came with a CD of the 7 Doors of Death soundtrack, which was the home video version of the Beyond put out here originally.
Oh, it was theatrical.
And it was theatrical too.
I saw 7 Doors of Death at the Crossroads Cinema. It was theatrical, but it was cut to shit.
And I've never seen that version of it, so I can't imagine. But yeah, it's but they do a lot of cool extras as well. So if you're into extreme horror graphic novels, I really do suggest checking out Avon Press, because they're really cool, and they do a lot of cool stuff. They did this one they have called Wasteland 89, maybe, I forget. It's an original. They also did one issue on Laser Blast.
Wow.
So yeah, but one of the issues of this Wasteland one came like with a dramatized CD of the comic book that you can listen to while you read along, almost like one of those Power Records.
Power Records from the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twin Flicks sends us the Devil Horns, the super sticker out in the chat. Thank you, Twin Flicks. Yes. Andre, let me ask you. You were talking before we went on. It's a slow news week, yet there's some interesting things coming out. One of the things that I wanted to, I don't know, necessarily address, but the idea. A lot of people have been talking to me about the idea of fans' relationship to creators. Once again, we saw James Mangold last weekend get into it with a fan. There's a lot of other Lucasfilm, obviously, they have employees. How do you feel about, obviously, our YouTube channels are directly addressing, a lot of the time, creators. We're highly critical of creators. How do you feel about creators and a relationship they might have with their fans via social media? Do you think it's a good thing? Or is it a bad thing?
I'm going to say it's a mixed thing. Because it can be both good and it can be bad depending on how you use it. And the advice that I would give to creators is to keep a professional distance. You don't always have to respond. And if you do respond, maybe check with the publicist and make sure you do not put your foot in your mouth. Because we have had multiple instances where this has happened. Because, yeah, you had the Indiana Jones director last week. I'm very happy to get into that. But I think, one of the biggest gaffes there in recent history was Pablo Hidalgo, the Star Wars continuity guy, in the aftermath of the Luke Skywalker reveal. When then singled out the single biggest Star Wars YouTuber on the planet, who is extremely popular, who does extremely good content, who is
and also
the single best marketing guy they have.
He's the nicest guy in the world, too.
That too. And Star Wars got him through chemo and everything like that, and then he is so emotional for seeing Star Wars return, figuratively and literally, in The Mandalorian, in the guise of Luke Skywalker. So there's tears. And Pablo Hidalgo goes and he undoes all of the goodwill that created by mocking him. completely unbelievable to me. Of course, yeah, you have had like other instances as well before, with Paul Feig getting into it with fans. Let's say nothing about Josh Trank. I mean, that's a legend all of its own. But again, that's like, they saw the tweets and they got engaged and they rage posted and they rage answered, because I think what social media does is that suddenly it allows the pleb to get through to otherwise very shielded and very protected people who are inside of an echo chamber where everyone tells them, you're so awesome, everyone loves you. And then suddenly they're confronted with this little annoying little pissant in a tweet who tells them that everything is not awesome. And they might not be that cool or popular, and people might not even have that much faith in what they're doing. And then their fragile little egos get hurt, and instead of taking the bigger path of simply ignoring, because you don't have to respond, some of them respond. And the problem with that is that then you have a tiny, tiny little YouTuber who has from tens to at the most single-digit thousands of followers on Twitter. So no one would pay attention to their post. Suddenly they get replied to by an angry director with like 100,000 plus followers. And among them are the rest of Hollywood and the entirety of the entertainment media complex. So then it takes on a life of its own. So I'm going to say social media, good or bad, but you have to think before hitting that tweet button.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I got into it on Twitter with one of the producers. He's not on the show anymore. Of Star Trek Discovery, a guy named Ted Sullivan, and he and I were going back and forth. And he was not being.
I see Dave's stomach acting up here right now. But,
I had an itchy nose, and I was just.
No, so well, I would say that he and I went back and forth on Twitter, and it wasn't pleasant or nice. But then I saw him at a party at the San Diego Comic-Con. And it was, he was at a bar. I walked up to him and I said, hey, man, Rob Burnett, shook his hand. And we actually had a really great conversation. And I apologized to him for being kind of a dick.
As you should.
He was a dick, too, though. And he apologized to me. And we actually had a really interesting, very nice conversation. And I really liked meeting him. And it was it's one thing when you're on Twitter, sitting on the can, tweeting to somebody, rage posting or whatever.
Don't say can, Rob. Jeez.
It's an entirely different thing. It's an entirely different thing when you meet somebody in real life. And I wanted to apologize because I always want to be nice. My whole brand is like, let's be inclusive. And when I say inclusive, I mean in terms of I like everybody. But I was a dick. And I felt that it was important for me to go apologize. But what I learned early on, Dave, you know this too, when you've made a movie, the last thing you have to do is ever answer your critics. You cannot go down that road. Whether somebody posts something lame about your movie on Amazon or somebody posts a bad review on the IMDb, you have to shut up. You cannot engage. There is no way to win. And you just have to allow opinions to flow free. You're not going to change them. And so I think it's to having creators, and on this show, one of the things Midnight's Edge has done. Look what we've done. We've celebrated Stand and Deliver, and we celebrated Blood In, Blood Out. We have the creators of these films that have lasted a long time. We have nothing but great conversations with them, and to me, that's the ultimate interaction. That's the best way that we can interact with professionals, and have that kind of dialogue. And we can do that on channels like Midnight's Edge, or my channel, like when I talk to Brian Fuller or David Goodman, the president of WGA. And it's great to have these long-form conversations, and I wouldn't want to give that up. So
I agree completely, and also beyond that, like we also have like friends who are like slightly smaller filmmakers, but filmmakers nonetheless. We've also had like watch parties with our good friend and director Tom Conkle, as well as with Gary J. Tunnicliffe, who's back in LA now, by the way. Hope you're enjoying it.
Oh, he is? He's back in LA now? He moved
back. Yeah, Gary's
back.
back.
He moved back from Romania?
Yeah, so he's back in LA right now. So
there you go.
Yeah, do you know him?
Yeah, I met him. Super nice bloke.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's such a cool guy.
Yeah, I met him when he was doing Feast for John Gulager.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
when he was doing John Gulager's movie and everything, and obviously he did so many of the Hellraiser sequels, and he directed one of them, and I think he wrote 2 of them.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Really nice guy, and yeah, awesome guy. I mean, my whole thing is, with this stuff, I think now more than ever, it's really important for creators or directors or whatever field you're in, that you have to interact with the people. But I think you got to choose your time when you're just starting to make something. In the middle of it, don't engage. It's just like, why you're on Twitter anyway is kind of ridiculous to me. You're directing Indiana Jones 5. What the fuck? Do you got time for that? I hope you're not behind the monitor looking at your goddamn phone when you're supposed to be directing Indy 5 and making the best fucking last Harrison Ford movie for that series we're going to get. Don't fuck around, Mangold. I've got faith in you. I love your movie. So stop looking at Twitter, man.
And he blew a whole day on it.
That's so ridiculous.
Like a 12-hour rant. Granted, it was on a Sunday, so I guess that we can be thinking that maybe it was his day off. But really, the first week into production on Indiana Jones 5, even if it's Sunday, it's your day off, you really don't have your day off. You need to be planning the next week, assessing these shots you already have. You don't have time to go off on Matt Kadish on Twitter. I could say his name because he's a friend of mine, so I know exactly who it is. We had him on our morning show last week talking about the whole incident.
And what was interesting, he didn't tag James Mangold in his original tweet.
He wasn't even disrespectful.
No, so which is Mangold is trolling for it. He's looking for the shit.
Yeah,
which is even more of a head scratcher. It's like, come on, you went through Logan. He must have gotten some, flack about that. Just like anything that's going to be, especially in the genres that we hold near and dear to our heart and love, and there's no more passion than in our genres. I don't think romance movies get this type of shit going on with them. So it's just sort of like, this is a part for the course, but why? Again, I just don't get why you would even engage in petty. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, the best thing I ever did, and to each his own, was get rid of Twitter. The best thing I ever did. No, seriously, the best thing, and even on Facebook, I kind of don't follow anyone. Uh-oh. There's a stalker outside of Rob's.
No, it sounded like there was massive, a volley of gunfire.
It's probably fireworks. It's probably fireworks.
Yeah, it probably is fireworks.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fine. Let's go for it. It's fireworks. I mean,
well, no, here in LA, this is the thing, Andre. Here in LA, about 4 weeks before 4th of July actually hits, everyone shoots off their own fireworks constantly every night, and it's always late at night because they're all partying now. So hey, let's shoot some fireworks, fucking metal, yeah, and traumatize all these dogs.
Yeah, but I do have to say during COVID there was a police chase, and at the end of my street on the corner, about 300, 400 feet down the street, this guy was being chased by the cops, busted open the door. Hail of gunfire, started shooting at the police, and got taken out right on my street. And I couldn't believe it. I walked out. I took pictures of it all.
That's a little scary.
It was. I was like, "What the hell, man?"
Yeah,
but
hit the decks.
You just never know. But I think now it's after midnight, lighting off fireworks. The animals around here, they don't like it. But anyway, that was.
But anyway, what I was trying to say, and again, I just want to point that to each his own. Everyone gets something different out of it. What I was saying about Facebook, I kind of unfollow most people so I don't get, because a lot of people like to express themselves and if they're having a bad day and stuff. And I don't want to see it because I'm trying to do other things and it can put you in a really shitty state of mind or, seeing all this stuff. So for me, it was just better. I use it to promote things like this show and other things that, I might be working on, but I don't think it's healthy, and I think this Mangold thing proves it.
Yeah.
And again, everyone's got a different opinion. I know everyone uses it differently, but I don't think it's psychologically healthy, especially when you're working on a project. And even after, I mean, I've always told Rob, it's like, I won't look at a review for anything I've done until 6 months after it's released. I really won't now, because it doesn't matter how many good ones you get that, you read that one bad one and it just sticks in your craw and you're just like, God damn it. And believe me, my movies get some pretty shitty fucking reviews. So, you know.
Oh, I read a great review of Tango Shalom where somebody called it Hadsid exploitation. Which I was like, oh, ouch. And it was very interesting. I don't want to say who wrote the review, but that person was the very definition of wokester. I mean, you name it, the boxes were checked. And I was like, okay. So I didn't feel as bad. But Hasid exploitation? Really? Okay. You know, I'll take it.
I mean, that's the thing. People, and have been for a long time, but definitely in the past couple of years, they're just hunting. They're like Craven the fucking Hunter, man. They are hunting to take people down.
Yeah,
I know.
Social media brings out the worst. It wakes up the inner narcissist in everyone.
It does, because yes, it does give everyone a voice, and it's kind of cool because, you know, without that stuff, without social media, we wouldn't have been having some of the guests that we had on. How would I ever, get to approach, some band from Switzerland, for example? I mean, so that part's really cool. The access to people is really awesome. But the thing is, especially when you're working on something, you just gotta, I mean, you would think someone like Mangold would have just a thicker skin at this point in the game. I mean, the film business is not for the weak, you know, and I'm not saying that he is, but it's always funny. And I didn't even see what the tweets were or I asked you Thursday, what's this Mangold thing about? What's going on? And it was just like,
well, I can imagine. I mean, one of the things I find disconcerting about fandom is we are very quick to turn on the people that we've admired. And I think Mangold, like, everyone loves Harrison Ford. We all know he doesn't really like talk shows. We all know that he gets stoned. We all know everything there is to know about Harrison Ford. But the commentary that has come from us, from fans, making fun of his age and coming back and playing Indiana Jones, I can imagine that Mangold, who's trying to make this, I'm sure the script, whatever they've come up with, is actually pretty damn good, because I think that Mangold, and they dispensed with, was it John Kasdan's script? So,
yeah, they did. Yeah, this is actually something that was confirmed now in this tweet exchange.
Yeah, they completely rewrote the script. But I'll bet, I mean, judging from, I like the 3:10 to Yuma remake. I loved Copland, the movie with Sylvester Stallone that he made early on in his career. I liked Logan. Identity, I really like Identity. So he's made a lot of great movies that I really, really enjoyed. And especially coming off 4v Ferrari, I think that if anybody, look, I never would have thought George Lucas and Steven Spielberg were capable of delivering Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I mean, maybe George Lucas on his own, but certainly not Steven Spielberg. And I watched that film perplexed, considering I think that Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of the great movies ever made. It's a perfect film.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to this movie. I mean, I think James Mangold will, if there's anybody who could deal with a character like Indiana Jones being old and yet going on whatever mission he's off on, which I think he could do it. Of all the filmmakers working today, he could probably bring the best in terms of story and resonance for the character. So I would imagine that for him, this is kind of a dream come true job, and he's probably put his heart and soul into it, to have as many people, I mean, even fans, even the people that love Raiders are wantonly making fun. How many more memes do I have to see, Indiana Jones and the Walker of Doom, or the Depends of whatever.
Right. I mean, you know what? I'll be lucky if I'm alive at 80. I'll sure as hell be lucky if I look as fit and I am as fit as Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's got guns at 78.
I'm not planning on it. I'm not planning on it. It's just, it's just one of those things. And the thing is, I mean, the other thing, the amount of pressure on Mangold has got to be enormous in some ways. Not just the outside pressure, not from the executives. I'm sure they're fine, but he's replacing Steven Spielberg, but even Steven Spielberg is not the same guy as the guy who made Raiders. He's
Right.
Honestly, I think that Mangold is probably a better fit for director than Steven Spielberg.
I
think
agree.
Spielberg, he's done.
I agree, Andre.
He's done those movies. He's got that out of his system. He wants to do something new, and why wouldn't he? And maybe people can't understand that, but the thing is, it's like, well, even if you're Steven Spielberg, there's only so many movies you actually get to make. It's not like John Ford where you can crank out 120 plus films in your career. You get only so many shots. So it's like, yeah, someone like him who does have the ability to do anything he wants, I'm sure wants variety. And it's like, I've said what I need to say.
Right. Well, by the way, Darth Plato sends in a tip if you're a tennis fan. Mangold comes across as the John McEnroe of directors.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I have another one. He also comes across like Phil Fish, the legendary indie game developer who also got into Twitter spats and social media spats with his detractors. And there's like two sad things about it. One is that obviously what triggered him to go after this one particular tweet, I think, is because it wasn't trollish in any way. It simply brought up some points that on the surface are very, very good reasons why you should temper your expectations. And I think that obviously riled him the wrong way. But the tragedy with it is that whole Twitter blowout, it's not going to go away. It's going to continue following the movie all the way up to its release. And if the movie then doesn't deliver upon expectations, it's going to follow it forever afterwards too. Just like with Paul Feig, Josh Trank, and all the others that went down, like we're still talking about those Twitter meltdowns more so than their movies.
And it's a shame because it's just sort of like, I mean, hopefully he's learned his lesson and it's just like, don't address it anymore. Just move on. I got to quickly say, Cardinal Singh goes, if we give you $80 million, Dave, will you work out when you're 80? Yes. I mean, you probably could just give me the $80 that you said in the one beforehand, but I'll take the 80 million if you got it just hanging around. I could use it.
We could do a lot of cool movies.
We could do a lot of cool
$80 million.
We could do a lot of cool shit. Oh, and I want to just say this too, Rob, because I saw this a little earlier. El Necron's band, his music is going to be in a new horror movie called Slasher Face, which I think is really awesome and very fucking metal. And it's a death metal band that he's got. And I just want to say congratulations. So that you heard it and everything. And I think Slasher Face is a pretty fun fucking title.
I like Slasher Face. By the way, I think that's great. Wakazashi sends in a super chat. I believe it was a super chat sticker. I didn't see it, but I love the name Wakazashi. That's a great name. Twin Flicks sent in a super chat. Galliette Productions says, was my YouTube channel metal? I have not looked at it yet. I apologize. I always feel bad when people send me all this stuff, and I'm always running from one place to another, one stream to another, and I never get to look. But I promise I will look at your channel. And MCP Scotty, who was here with us, said, I watched the trailer for To Live and Die in L.A. I told him to watch To Live and Die in L.A., and it looks like hot fire. I'll hunt down a Blu-ray.
So they go out of their way to watch the stuff you tell them to look at. But
come on, man.
I'm kidding. No, we didn't watch Andre's music video he told us about last time. So I fucked up too. So we got to do that.
Oh, it happens.
Well, it's just,
I know. Yeah, we're, everyone in the world, including everyone who's just who's graciously watching us, we all have busy lives. No one's just sitting around doing nothing. Yeah.
It is true. Well, Andre, I've got to ask you guys, or ask you, being that, Midnight's Edge, you guys are starting to branch out. You got Midnight's Edge Espanol. By the way, I just want to tell you, full disclosure, 2 of my viewers that have helped me with the channel, I don't know if they're taking a cue from that, but they pitched me a show in Spanish that they want to do in Spanish. And I can't say what the title is yet, but it's hilarious. You will love it. You in particular would love this title. And I don't know what the show's actually going to be about. But they just pitched me the idea, and I'm like, done. That's cool. You know, we've got to figure it out. But I just want to say I'm completely ripping you off.
Sounds awesome. Just remember to give credit where credit is due. So just like say towards the end, everyone go check out Midnight's Edge Espanol, the originator for the idea.
Oh, and by the way, I always say that because one of the great things about being connected with Midnight's Edge is all the great people that I've met. You, Andre, being one of them. Tom, Rob, Mecca. I mean, all the people that I've met through you. But I love Paulie. Paulie, who has
awesome
Latino slant. I love that guy. And
what a fucking solid dude.
He's he's such a he's just he's a spiritual dude. He's grounded, he's smart, he's introspective. He really knows his stuff, and I love that he promotes Latino music, and I love and the fact that he's doing that Midnight's Edge Espanol. What a great way to branch out on YouTube. And also that they included me, Tom and Paulie. They were the ones that asked me to be involved in the Blood In, Blood Out thing, which I was completely flattered by.
And Rob, I got to tell you, speaking of Blood In, Blood Out, I actually saved this for you. I saw it on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen this or not. They have made prints of all the paintings that were in the movie.
No.
Yes. They have
no way.
They have made paintings of all the artists is made prints of all the paintings that were used in Blood In, Blood Out. And I thought of you. I saved it on Instagram. I'll find it and I'll make sure you get it.
We should do a Midnight's Edge special print one like Mondo. You know how Mondo does posters?
That would be awesome. I love the Mondo posters. I use them for my custom Blu-ray covers.
Oh, they're so great.
That's cool. That's a great idea.
I know.
When you guys did the Blood In, Blood Out thing, and I'm sorry, I haven't watched it. I've got it saved, but I haven't watched it. Did they talk about why this movie is not available on Blu-ray or anything else?
No, they
kind of, a little bit by implication, because it's all about who owns the movie and the distribution. And what we kind of arrived at was that it's with Disney. And
right, it's a touchstone. It was a touchstone, right?
Yeah, it was, and it was an issue for them at the time of release, so they kind of like dumped it at the time. And I guess that today the powers that be, they probably aren't even aware of it.
Probably not. And it's a shame.
Well, you know what? They're also like Down and Out in Beverly Hills and Ruthless People and the R-rated touchstone movies that were made. They're licensing those out to companies like Kino Lorber to put on Blu-ray, and I'm hoping that Blood In, Blood Out will be one of those movies.
Yeah. There's a couple that never like another one of those big, and it was a big hit too. It was Outrageous Fortune at the time.
I think Kino Lorber is doing those, but it's weird to me like that Disney. They we don't want to admit we made R-rated movies, but those touchstone films kind of like fell between the cracks, and I've got my Anchor Bay Blood In, Blood Out DVD. That's all that I got in 2004.
Yeah, I have that.
Anchor Bay releases are so awesome.
Yeah, they were great, and I'll never part with that. And also, there's two different versions of Blood In, Blood Out. There's the Bound by Honor version, and then
that's the one I have. That's the one I have.
The DVD is Blood In, Blood Out, Bound by Honor, which is the longer version. It's the 3-hour version.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. It's interesting that Andre. I mean, I'm curious about how we can report on information, but I'm curious, what do you think about in terms of in the YouTube space? Doing more I think all of our dreams are maybe even get into film production and do original programming and I mean not just YouTube punditry, but also one of the reasons I watch Midnight's Edge is because you made produced videos. Your subject matter, you had edited and narrated and produced videos. That's why I like watching Critical Drinker so much too. And I asked him when I first streamed with him, because I suspected this, do you write out your scripts first before you make your videos? And he said, no, absolutely I do, because that's what makes them, I think, so good. That's why Drinker's channel, and he has almost 1 million subscribers. He's well on his way to, I think he's got 800,000. It's because he produces great content, and I think so does Midnight's Edge. I mean, you guys have you pioneered editorial content that was actually produced. like mini documentaries, and that's why I first found your channel. I mean, where do you think that the YouTube space? Because I think that it has to evolve. We can't just all be talking about movies and movie news forever. Don't we want to make, or does I know you want to make more and different kinds of content, don't
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So certainly I do. As you say, just like with Drinker, every single one of our released videos, lest it be like a cut down version of a live show, is scripted. Every
Right.
single one of my editorials is scripted. Like it's a good, I don't know, 4 to 12 hours writing behind every 10-minute video.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how we roll. That's what I do. That's what I've always done on Midnight's Edge. And what that does, and I think you see this with the Drinker as well, who in real life is a successful published author, because you have to have like that kind of structure. And I think when you can apply that to essentially documentary filmmaking, because that's kind of what we drink here, what we're doing is scripted documentaries in a sense. And I would love to take that to a higher stage with like fully funded either documentaries, but also fiction. Like for instance, I would fucking love to do a full-on sword and sorcery feature film. Like one that has the tone and feel of the Frazetta covers for Conan and just stuff like that. I would love to do that and go into actual features that way. Of course, that's way down the line, but there's absolutely ambition to take things to the next level. And that's also why we started Midnight's Edge Espanol, because before we can do that, we have to expand the audience, because what I'm thinking is the natural way to do it is a mix between crowdfunding and also distribution and release from someone bigger and more established, like a distributor for video games, that kind of model.
Yeah.
But of course not go directly to like the huge thing. That's not going to happen. So remain at the level where you have ultimate creative control, but get up to a level where you can take things to a much higher degree than they are right now. I absolutely have that ambition, and I think that so should everyone. Because what I don't think that there is necessarily, of course, I think that you can still just put on a webcam and give your opinion, whether it be informed opinion or angry ranting. I think you can do that 10, 20 years from now as well. I think it's going to be still popular.
Sure.
But I don't think that you're going to progress any more than up to a certain point unless you massively increase your own operations and try to expand things in a different direction. So I think for those that are serious about this kind of punditry, that is the next logical step.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I mean, I know Dave and I, obviously as filmmakers, we want to continue doing that. I mean, that's what we want to do. And I think crowdfunding is, I'm really curious when I watch people like Ethan Van Sciver, who has had such success with Cyberfrog. You know, he made a lot of money, and more so than most comic creators, he's taken his own destiny into his hands. Whether you like Ethan Van Sciver or not, I respect him as a business person, as a comic creator, as an artist, he cut out the middleman and the bullshit. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like working for comic book companies now, and he doesn't have to deal with that. He went right to his audience, and they support him directly. And I would love to do that as a filmmaker, but it's hard because obviously there's a lot more money involved than in a comic book, you know.
Yeah, but it's amazing how much money that they actually raise for that stuff. I mean, I'm with you. The crowdfunding thing has always been something that I'm worried about, and we've obviously talked about it. And Brett Pierce is with us tonight, just so you know. But yeah, I'm always worried about this crowdfunding thing too. And we talked about it, and the prospect is exciting, but you know, it's a challenge. And obviously, if you don't make the goal, then it's really defeating in a lot of ways. But yeah, so but I'm curious too, and I have to mention again, Rob, I keep looking at the chat too while we're having this conversation. So Andy from Argentina said he found that movie Mobius from F Media. So he sent you an email.
Oh, I am that, Andy. Thank you so much for that. For those of you who don't know, there's an Argentinian science fiction film that. Oh, by the way, you know what? You know what's funny? Andy asked me about Argentinian movies, and he asked me about a movie called Wild Tales.
Oh yeah.
And I said to him, I go, dude, I own that. And because he's from Argentina, he's like, really? Here it is. Here's my Blu-ray of Wild Tales.
Nice.
So yes, Andy. He had never heard of Mobius, which is another. I told him about it last night, and somebody gave me a VHS tape of it like 20 years ago, and I watched like the first half of it, and I never saw the end, and it was really intriguing, really interesting, very heady sci-fi, and I told him about it, and maybe that's great. I want to get a copy of it. I want to see the rest of this movie. But yes, so Andy, here is, in fact, Wild Tales right here in the Robservatory.
But I did want to ask you, talking about creating content and how YouTube space is going to change stuff. And I see things, and the things, I look at the people who have like millions of followers and stuff, and it's like their content is just them doing whatever. It's kind of baffling to me because it's not like it's high produced or anything like that. In a lot of ways, it's kind of crazy. But given your choice, if you could design and create a video game instead of a movie, would you do that? Would that be more appealing in a way where a video game, it's almost like budget's not an option as far as what you can put in the game. But the budgets are always so much higher anyway. Would that if that was offered to you over, say, a movie, what would you do? What would you be, into?
Andre or me?
Both of you.
I don't know.
I can go first while you
go
have
ahead.
a think on it. I think that both are very compelling, and I have actually two answers. One is that with a video game, you have so much more engagement. However, this is the thing with video games. What platform do you choose? Do you go with console? That would be my first choice. I would put it on a console rather than a PC. I've never been one for Steam or anything like that.
Right.
So I would want something on a console. But the challenge with that, and you also have the same challenge both for Android and for iPad, and to a lesser extent, also the PC. A video game only has a relatively limited lifespan before the next generation comes. And then it's going to be increasingly difficult to find or play your game. It's fine if it's like 30 years old, because then it'll live forever in emulation. But PC games from the 90s, early 2000s, or video games from PlayStation 2 and up, it's a much harder task to find those.
But they have ported. But they have ported a lot of those games onto like the PlayStation Network. You can buy them.
And, a lot of them.
A lot of them.
All of them.
I
would be interested.
Yeah, but there's a lot of movies that still are not released.
Yeah, but
where we can get those. So
free enterprise.
This is the point. But that's exactly it. But I think that with making a movie today, it's much easier to have it be available forever than a video game. Of course, there are ways to make sure that both are forever, but a video game to me is something that has a more limited shelf life than a movie does. I also think that inside the confines of a movie, you have an easier time telling the kind of story that I personally would be interested in telling, rather than to restructure the narrative in such a way that the player can discover it for themselves. Maybe they don't even understand it because distracted by the screen story. So I think that if given the choice, I would go for a movie.
Okay. Rob?
Well, I obviously producing a video game is a very daunting, very difficult proposition. There's as much that goes into movie making as goes into video game production. I'm a fan of storytelling. I like the movie medium, and I understand that. I think movies were really the art form of the 20th century, and I do think that eventually there's going to be some kind of hybridization of movies and video games, because people
There
want that.
already is.
Yes, and it's going to get bigger, and I think that look. Combining, we've seen how Lucasfilm used their stagecraft technology, that which they were using on The Mandalorian, they're using now on Loki. You know, we're seeing it all over the place. The volume, what they're doing, getting rid of green screen and all that, that's going to lead to real virtual experiences in the gaming world where you're the protagonist. You know, and I think that's what everyone wants that. They want to be able to literally feel like they're enveloped by an environment, and almost like the holodeck on the next generation. And I think that's where it's going to go. And we're not there yet, but I can't help but think this is like the 1920s as far as cinema goes, where there was no sound yet, you know, and it was it was all over the place. But then with the advent of sound in the late 20s, it changed movie making forever. I could see that by the end of the 2020s, there are going to be technological advancements that we can't even imagine that are going to happen in just 8 or 9 or 10 years. That is going to fundamentally change the ability of game designers and movie makers to create this hybridization where you are the protagonist and you're not on like a rail system where you have to follow set paths. You'll be able to, with the real, what is it, real 5, you know, what is that where they're out there, the engine, the fifth Unreal Engine, isn't it the 5th iteration of it now?
Yeah, I think it's the 5th iteration.
Yeah, Unreal. I mean, imagine where that's going to be in 8 years, and they'll be able to, like, you'll be walking down a city street, and they'll be able to generate an environment depending on which direction you turn, and it's going to be in real time, and it's going to be amazing. And I think once people are that way, I think drama is always going to exist, but eventually you're going to be the protagonist of these stories. And the stories it'll be like a choose your own adventure. It'll be a sandbox game or something, but the drama will star you as the protagonist. And I do see that. I mean, I would love to get involved in that, but unfortunately, I think that this is a future tech that I will be too old. I mean, I like to keep current, but I think that's where we're going in terms of entertainment. I would like nothing more than, I would love to make 3 or 4 more movies in my life. So I always wanted to have 5 movies. I've made 1, produced others, but I've written and directed 1 movie. Right. I'd like to make more. You know, I'd like to have a little bit of an oeuvre, but that's only because I grew up loving those things. Movies mean something to me. They still matter, but I understand that movies are not the 21st century entertainment the way that they movies to me are a 20th, when the history of humanity is written, if we ever make it to the stars and we endure for thousands and thousands of years, movies will be the dominant art form of the 20th century, because all the other art forms existed before that, but movies really didn't. And I think that what's going to happen in the 21st century is going to be interactive entertainment where you are the star of the story.
I mean, I partially agree with you. And the thing is, they are, I mean, a lot of the video games I play, starting with the first Resident Evil, I mean, that's the thing, you know, I've watched so many horror movies that rarely do they actually like unnerve me. But when I played these video games, and there's one's called I think it's Dark Pictures. It's like an interactive movie where you choose, but and they've had Rami Malek in one. They've had Sean Ashmore star in one. Will Poulter.
Will Poulter, or
the guy who was in
he was in Bandersnatch. Yeah, he was in Midsummer. He was in
He was in one of them too, and it scanned their faces and everything. And Larry Fessenden actually co-wrote the video games. The Evil Within game, my friend Trent Haga wrote the second one. But those things, it's like I'm way more affected and unnerved by playing those games than I am most movies that I watch now. And I think, I've seen commercials this year, which is crazy. I think we're moving towards that Ready Player One sort of scenario where people go into a hub and have their avatars and their virtual characters and everything. And I think it's a really interesting thing. I'm with you. I mean, in a lot of ways, making a movie seems a lot easier than making a video game.
Yeah.
In that sense, but I'm just intrigued by all of that and the possibilities of it. One of my favorite sci-fi movies from the 80s, Brainstorm, like kind of taps into what we're talking about. I think way ahead of that, and Videodrome, way ahead of the game as far as talking about what is to come, I think, in a lot of ways. And
yeah.
it was just, to me, it's just interesting to see what the possibilities are going to be. Because and when I played VR video games, that is when it's really your first person. It's amazing how intense it feels.
Andre, I mean, obviously we're fans of all this material. Are you as much a fan of video games as you are of film and, say, Edgar Rice Burroughs or Robert E. Howard or,
No, quite simply no. I'm really not much of a gamer. I tried getting into gaming when I was a kid, got my Sega Mega Drive, and that's kind of like where I stuck. So these days I'm a retro gamer. I got the PlayStation 2, I got the PlayStation 3, I will get the PlayStation 5, but just like the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3 that I got for its DVD and Blu-ray capabilities, I'll get the PlayStation 5 mostly for its 4K Blu-ray capabilities.
Oh, I got to tell you, I love the PlayStation 5 is a great disc player.
Really?
Yeah, they just have to. Yeah,
is
they
it,
just
Rob?
have to get it out here.
I know,
Is
Dan.
it Rob? No.
I know.
That was months ago. Oh yeah, it's coming
I'm
next
working
week.
on it.
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
Okay.
No,
I don't need. I don't need it right now.
I'm a big fan because my first Blu-ray player was I got my girlfriend at the time gave me a PlayStation 3, and that was my first Blu-ray player, and I fucking loved it. I loved
it.
It was
it's my favorite Blu-ray player to this day. Again, which is no surprise because the whole format was built up around the capabilities of the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it is the original Blu-ray player. But back to it, like so I'm a retro gamer. And like all this like real immersion stuff, like that's not for me. You know what I play like that?
Pong.
No. That's too primitive.
Come on, man.
That's too primitive.
Pole position.
I love pole position.
I did too. Okay.
No, like the 16 to 32-bit generation. That's my jam.
Spy Hunter.
Spy Hunter was a fun one. That's 8-bit.
Yeah, that was great though.
Yeah. That was great. But like, so my favorites are like Kid Chameleon, Sonic the Hedgehog, Vector Man, RoboCop versus Terminator on the Sega Mega Drive, original Earthworm Jim, old school Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. I mean, like stuff like that. That's where I'm stuck at with gaming. So yeah, no, movies all the way for me. If I had to choose.
Yeah, I mean, I am. I'm that way too. I mean, I just love drama. I love movies. I mean, my whole life that's where I'm at. But I don't want to limit myself. I mean, what's funny is a lot of people are like, "Well, Rob, you're coming to the end of your career." I'm like, "What?
He's just getting started."
What are you talking about? Like, I'm not going to. Clint Eastwood's 91 and he's still working. Like, I don't want to stop.
Yeah, what a machine he is.
I mean, my God. I used to see him when I lived on the West Side. I used to see him jogging. He would jog in Brentwood. He would jog on the median of the road, and it was good stuff. It was good stuff.
Speaking of video games, it was asked Frogger or Donkey Kong.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I gotta go with Donkey Kong, just because it's King Kong-esque.
Yes, but I loved Frogger. Donkey Kong required more skill and finesse.
Andre, you're really scrolling on some interesting pictures there.
I hadn't been paying attention.
Boy, guys, you are certainly missing out just seeing his drawing on screen.
His drawing on screen's
Oh, yeah.
great. I look at Andre. I love that. He's got a nice snifter, a brandy snifter.
Now we know what Andre likes.
Hey, no, he's just going through his email. Come on now.
That's just fan mail. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
It is.
It actually is. It actually is.
Yeah, that's why I could
damn
tell
you.
because look,
Yeah.
before he was, I mean, he went from comic books to other things. I mean, he was jumping around. He was looking at Crossed. I loved Crossed.
Yeah.
That comic.
I was checking Avatar. I had to check exactly where that was. Crossed rules.
It does. Somebody should make that, although I don't know if they could. But I mean, I do think though that I mean, I hate to say it because I don't mean to be like a doomsayer, but I do think that movies we're coming to the end of there's always going to be movies, just like there's always classical music concerts and there's still Broadway shows and people love them and all that, and there's always going to be movies, but our technology is progressing, and I think narrative has changed. You know, it used to be cave paintings, and then it was oral tradition. People would tell stories around campfires, and you know, it's always storytelling has always changed with the times. And I think that, you know, we're on the cusp whenever Ray Kurzweil's singularity happens for real, not the Post-Geek singularity, but the real singularity, that we're in a position where I think that technologically we're going to have some really interesting horizons open to us in the next 10 years, 15 years that we can't even imagine right now. And I think as those open up, people are going to be like, well, you know, I want to participate. Like, wouldn't you have rather been Luke Skywalker? Well, this new technology is going to make you Luke Skywalker. And you're going to be able to be immersed in that situation. And it's not going to be you're playing a character from a God's eye perspective. You're going to be the character. Your movements, your thought processes, you'll be affecting everything that happens. And it won't be you in a controller. It'll be you immersed in an environment. And I think that's where we're going to wind up.
So someone just asked, Rogue Thinker said, movie game's the best. E.T. Superman doesn't get better than that. I don't know what you're smoking, Rogue, but good for you. E.T. was like one of the most... I mean, they did that whole documentary how bad that game was.
No, I think he's kidding. Yeah.
No, I'm sure he's kidding. But Pitfall, that was my jam.
Pitfall, and Pitfall was a total Indiana Jones ripoff because they didn't have the license.
But it was great.
And it was awesome on the Sega Mega Drive.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. By the way, says, hi, Andre, Dave, and RMB. I want to rock. By the way, is officially the co-host of Friday's Midnight Metal show.
Oh, congratulations. Yes. That's awesome.
So, and if she sends me a picture, I'm going to ask Xevious to draw her into the Midnight Metal so I can have two different images for the show.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. That's awesome. That's great.
And I'm not going to confirm or deny, but did pitch me a show for the Burnettwork, which I think she's perfect for, and I actually want to see. She actually pitched me a show that I want to see her analysis and what she comes up with. I want to watch what she pitched me. I'm like, I want to watch that. I didn't just think it was a good idea. I want to watch her. I literally want to watch her address the subject matter that she wants to address that she pitched to me. And I'm like, I'd watch that shit. Absolutely.
You can make it happen, Rob.
Well, I mean, look, I've always dreamed of Andre, would you I've always thought when I started this YouTube channel, I'm like, I want to have a 12-hour broadcasting day where I have 12 hours of content. I don't want to make it all. I want to have a bunch of other people. That's why it's a network. It's the Burnettwork, and have other people come on. And I would love to broadcast for 12 hours a day, original programming every day. Would you do that? Would Midnight's Edge do something like that?
12 hours every day? Oh no, that's.
But I mean, not just you guys, but like if you had partners that were making their own shows, like pre-recorded material. So if somebody delivered you, say, 15 episodes or 20 episodes or something, and you could fill your days with other people's work, but you would have to approve it. It'd be Midnight's Edge approved.
not 12 hours a day. No
That's
way.
very tough, man.
Because then I would have to actually watch those 12 hours a day the day in advance. I'd never have time to do anything else.
Yeah, it's probably true.
No, I'd draw the limit at like 3-4 hours a day. That's where I'd put the line.
Yeah.
See, for
And
me,
also,
I would love it. I would love to get enough people to put their shows on but the problem is, YouTube is not trustworthy.
no,
They at all. They've messed around with my channel. The last 3 months of my channel, I've looked. The last month, I had virtually no growth on this channel for the very first time ever.
That's great, Rob. That's not metal.
It's not metal.
I'm cutting you.
It's not just Rob. I can confirm.
No, I know it's everyone.
Yeah,
But that's a weird thing. Like
it seems the algorithm is like programmed to eat up your entire channel growth. Like, for instance, you make 200 new subscribers in a day. Well, next day YouTube is suddenly going to wipe out 220 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you can't build a network around that because they control, at least when you're a TV, if you're a studio or a movie maker, you have a certain, you get what you negotiate. With YouTube, you have no control.
But you could probably move it over to Twitch, maybe. The competition. And Larry's going, shh, Dave, I'm not going to shush. No way am I going to shush. I might hurl, but I'm not going to shush.
No one shushes here.
No one puts Dave in a corner.
Except himself.
Rarely anymore.
Sorry, I mean, come on. A little busting the balls here. Never.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
I'm disappointed, Andre. I thought you'd go for 12 hours. Just 3 or 4? Come on, man.
Oh,
yeah, just 3 or 4. Because that's like the thing. Also, what I would worry one more time. What I would worry about that is actually brand dilution. Because to do that, I would have to bring in so many other different kind of content producers.
Right.
But then I would worry that it's going to be too much variety, and the audience won't get enough of what they're subscribed to. Like, for instance, say that of those 12 hours, they like this 1 hour. So then they subscribe for that, but they get 11 hours of other stuff before they get to the 1 hour they like. And then they're going to get fed up, unhook that bell and unsubscribe. I think that you lose the brand value in that way. And also, who has time to watch 12 hours a day? You're going to be appealing to very different audiences there. Yeah,
but I mean that, for me, it'd be like a TV like a TV network. You have
it would be a TV network, but that would be something else entirely. Can't do that on YouTube.
By the way, I have to say that a lot of people don't know, but the Burnettwork does have official people that we've appointed. We have a sommelier of the channel, not just me, but a real one. We have Kaz Graphics, who is the official cheesemonger of the Burnettwork. That's true. Look it up. Cheesemonger is a real word. Kaz Graphics, who, by the way, his company, VN Graphics, he sent me this glass that I'm always drinking out of. He's hooked me up with Beecher's handmade cheese, which is unbelievable. He sends me a super chat and says, "Hello, package coming soon." Whenever he says that, it means he sent me this gourmet. It's amazing. Beecher's handmade cheese. There's an outlet. There's a store in Seattle and a store in New York City, and it's incredible. So thank you. I love that Kaz Graphics sends me a super chat to tell me that he sent me a box of delicious Beecher's handmade cheese. I mean, what's better than that? You somebody that is supporting your channel and sending you stuff, amazing. So thank you, Kaz.
He just knows you're cheesy, Rob.
I am cheesy, and
yes, and I'm very excited, and I got to tell you, I'm looking here, and we got some live ones in the chat who are chomping at the bit to get on. I know Whining Peen is like ready to throw down like on a challenge of like some pretty dastardly stuff, but that's I'm just letting you know what they're saying.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm looking at that. It is a very active chat. So
Yes.
it's good. The Richard says we've got some cheesy folks here. No, there's a lot of bad jokes happening now. I don't even want to. Well, I mean, Andre, I didn't want to keep you forever. We've had you for 75 minutes. What do you think? How you at? What's up?
Well, I'm good, and I have plenty other place I need to be as well. So with that, thanks for having me, and I look forward to speaking with you both again.
Well, let me
Yes.
ask you. I love having you here. What do we have coming up? Are you working on any other great Midnight's Edge videos? Anything coming up that you are going to have the next week or two?
Hopefully over the course of today, there's going to be both a new video on Midnight's Edge Espanol, in addition to a new editorial of mine on the main channel. Hopefully today, possibly tomorrow, about Amazon's new direction going forward. Yeah, exactly. And also, I'm working on a retrospective for Billy Zane's The Phantom. Now, I've done one before, but this is a reduxed version of that, because I love me some pulp entertainment. And this year is that movie's 25th anniversary. Can you believe
really? Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's from 1996.
Wow.
I like that movie a lot.
I did too. I have a blast at it. It's very self-aware that it's pulpy and having fun.
Yeah,
much better than The Shadow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Andre, I want to thank you for being here. I very much appreciate your time, and I really love. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Midnight's Edge, and I want to thank you. I always feel that, you kind of Midnight's Edge adopted my fledgling YouTube presence. And, thank you for that. I will always thank you for that.
You class up the joint too.
Yes,
sorry,
you
Rob.
class up the joint.
Didn't mean to speak over you. And Andre, really, such a pleasure to see your fan mail. Really, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Actually, but I have people that do send me stuff like that all the time. I never have to look for anything. Whatever it is, I get. More than I would like. Let's say.
That's okay, because we got whining Peen here ready to drop chow for us, Rob, live on the show.
Yeah, luckily we have the delay. Thank God.
All right, but Dave, I'll reach out to you, because you have to come on Midnight's Edge in the morning one of these days.
Sounds good. I'd love to.
Yeah, of course, Rob, you're welcome too. But I know that you're always up to midnight. So
I'm always on Campy's show in the morning as well. So
exactly.
And then on Thursdays, I'm now going to be doing a podcast with the legendary costume designer Marilyn Vance.
Oh, nice.
She reached out to me. Marilyn Vance, she was the costume designer for everything from Streets of Fire to Die Hard to Predator, Predator 2, Die Hard 2, The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean,
The Rocketeer.
The Rocketeer. I did put up a picture of me with her costume for The Rocketeer. I mean, crazy. And I met her producer, her daughter, her confidant at John Campy's house, and she's like, "Boy, you really know a lot about Marilyn's career." I'm like, "Come on, man! She defined what I thought was cool for like 2 decades. If she wants me to be on a podcast, hell yeah, I will." So that should start. I think I'm going to record the first one this coming Thursday. So that's fun.
All right, very cool. Excellent.
But Andre, thank you for being here. I very much appreciate it.
And thanks for having me. I really appreciate being here on Sunday mornings as well. To me, it's Sunday morning.
Well, we'll see you next week, and we'll have a good topic. I look forward to seeing the videos that are dropping today on Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge Espanol.
Excellent. All right, everyone. Party hard and rock on.
Yes, sir. That was Andre from Midnight's Edge. Thank him for being here. What a great guy. I love his voice, man. I want him to like narrate audiobooks or something.
I'm sure if you ask him nice, he will read you a bedtime story, Rob. I'm sure that you can make that happen.
He probably would, Dave. He probably would.
Probably would. That would be good.
Yeah.
So I'm curious now. Who's coming on?
I don't know.
Who's brave enough?
I haven't sent out, Dave. I haven't sent it out. Should I send it out?
Yeah, I'm going to get an ice cube and a little refill because my stomach is rallying at least.
All right, well, that's good.
Rallying.
Okay, you go.
But yeah, I'll be. Why you pick who?
All right. You go. You go get your thing. You're off. I'm. You go do it. You're off. You're off. It's or chatterbait or no wait. I don't know what that is. All right, kids, boys and girls. Maybe I should just send this to Brett Pierce and class up the joint. I don't know. I am going to send a link out to this show, Midnight Metal. If you've always wanted to be on YouTube and you have a good camera and a good microphone, well, I'm going to send out that link. And one person, not two, but one person can join us. Join us, just like the Evil Dead said. So there it is. We'll see who's here. Have something to say. Be cool. Yeah. Slightly Mad 22 sends in. Oh, Dave, you're back? You're back. Slightly Mad 22 sends greetings from the UK and happy 46th birthday to Jaws. Is it really the 46th birthday of Jaws, Dave?
Sounds good to me.
Does it sound good to you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know who showed up? Our friend Cash. Cash, we're going to put you in the chat. Cash, I can hear a little bit of feedback. It's a little scratchy, but we'll see. Hang on, that's good. I'm going to put Cash in.
Right on.
Let's see what Cash has to say. Hang on. I'm putting him in, Coach. I'm adding him to the stream, and I'm going to put him in right here. So, Cash, welcome, Cash, to Midnight Metal. Cash, first of all, are you feeling fucking metal tonight, bruh?
Sorry, drunk, but yes, metal. No,
You're always drunk when you come here. That's why I like you. It's all good. You and I are in the same state of mind on Midnight Metal.
Yeah.
So, Cash, what is going on? Tell us about your week.
Oh, fucking the week sucks. But, you know, I have a job, so that's cool.
That's good. So are you waiting tables? Is that what you're doing, right?
Yes. Also, there's this funny thing that's been happening at my job where, do you remember, what's that show called? It's a children's television show from the 90s. Ed, and Eddie.
I don't remember that, but that doesn't matter. I mean, Dave, do you know that show?
What's it called again?
Ed, and Eddie.
Ed, and Eddie? No, I only know two guys, a girl, and a pizza place.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a modern show, Dave.
I'm sorry. What do you? What's your Cash? What's your drink of choice on this fine morning, evening, whatever?
Normally it's Goldschlager and Boulevard Wheat. However, I'm drinking.
Wow, dude, that's
Jeez.
serious. Woo.
Yeah, I don't fuck around.
Yeah, no, that's
clearly not.
But right now I'm drinking a margarita because I'm at home. So
Oh, nice.
nice. And Cash, tell the folks at home where you're coming to us from.
Oh, KCMO, Kansas City, Missouri.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how are things in Missouri right now, coming out of COVID?
It's been the same way for a year. It's just we have weird people who go, "Oh, why aren't you wearing a mask?" Or "Are you vaccinated?" Like, no. I mean, all right, Robert, are you vaccinated?
I am.
You don't. That's fine. I was going to say you don't have to answer that question legally. So.
Yeah, but why do people care? I mean, to answer it legally. I mean, like, oh yeah, of course, yeah. We don't have to answer. Legally. But I'm just like, who cares?
The reason that people care is because they've been fed this bullshit for a year now.
Well, year's over. Get over it. Move forward.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm not saying you have to get vaccinated if you don't want to. That's fine too. But I just like but I get it. There's a lot of people who will like, look, I've known, I've had people who like go, well, you can't come to our party unless you've been vaccinated.
Yeah, actually, I talked to a friend of mine tonight who's like, his parents don't want him to come over for Thanksgiving if he's not vaccinated. It's one of those things. It's like, well, I mean, first of all, not your problem. Also, I hate to say it this way, but we've been fed a lot of bullshit for the last year. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but that's how I feel about it.
No, I mean, look, obviously, if you go to Brazil just passed 500,000 dead from COVID. And today, I think it was today, they passed that.
Yeah.
And there's new variants. There's all kinds of craziness going on. I for one, and obviously saw the New York Yankees. They were vaccinated, but they still tested positive for COVID. They handled that situation. I mean, I've been getting vaccinated for things since I was a little kid. Polio being one, the
Jesus
measles,
Christ.
mumps.
Well,
we all
I
got.
I didn't get polio.
You had a polio vaccine.
Not that I would have known, but
but you did have one.
Oh my God.
I mean, medical science has eradicated many diseases where the life expectancy of humanity went up by 30 years during the 20th century because of medical technology.
Guess what? I got the vaccine. I'm not dead yet. So, if they want to track me, fine. I don't leave that interesting of a life. That's what I think.
I'm not saying that. I'm just
I'm just saying. It's like, again, people and again, people have their opinions, and that's fine. To me, it's just like, hey, do it, don't do it. That's your choice. But let's stop making a big deal about it. Either one. It's like, stop giving people grief for not getting it or giving grief for getting it. Oh, you're just a sheep. It's like,
no, you're right. You're right. It's a pick or choose. That's it. Like, you want to do one thing, do it. If you don't want to do it, it's your fucking right. That's it.
Exactly. So
that's where I leave it at.
In a world.
Yeah, Deathhawk says, glad to see you're feeling better. It's got to be the tequila. It's got to be the tequila. I don't know, but I am. Or it wasn't,
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? That's all, exactly. Who cares?
By the way, I do want to point out, and I want to thank who said it? Why isn't it here anymore? Today is the 46th anniversary of the release of Jaws.
Wow.
Okay.
Jaws was released on June 20th, 1975.
Congratulations, Jaws. Happy anniversary.
Can you believe that movie? That movie's 46 years old.
It's fucking metal.
Jaws
was made out of metal. He was made out of metal. Bruce is totally metal. He's totally metal, man. Bruce was made out of metal. That's why he always sunk to the goddamn bottom of the ocean.
No, actually, I just rewatched all of Cowboy Bebop because of you. Because I have it all. Well, yeah, I was listening to you and somebody talking about it on Rob Nider, and I was like, Jesus, I haven't watched it in 20 years.
One, two, three, let's rock.
Sorry, I got to tell you this. I don't know if this is directed at me or not, but it's really fucking funny. T. Orlando Pearson says, alcohol doesn't cure stupid.
Yeah.
It might be directed.
Well, you're right.
No, it just helps stupid.
I'm glad I read that book, How to Make Friends and Influence People, Rob. It's really paying off.
I know. By the way, can I just say that I was on a stream earlier tonight talking about Star Trek Picard season 2.
I'm sorry.
And it was hit with a copyright strike by CBS, and they blocked the stream on copyright grounds.
Are you surprised?
Yeah. because all we did, we talked about the trailer they released publicly, which is fair use, and they blocked it.
Well, you gotta look back to last year about this time where Geese Gamers, Neurotic, several other channels, once again drunk, got copyright strike by Naughty Dog for The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
And they didn't show any fucking trailers, they didn't show any pictures, any of that shit. So are you surprised that happened again?
No. But, you know, if you're going to release a trailer for your show that's coming out in 2022 and you are making a creatively bankrupt program that exploits one of the most beloved franchises ever, and you're gonna hit people with copyright strikes for voicing your opinion, hey, how about this? Fuck you. Fuck
Precisely.
you. Fuck you for if you put out a trailer that you're supposed to make me excited as a Star Trek fan by using other people's creative endeavors and passing it off as your own. This is the problem with Star Trek. The people that are making Star Trek now are incredibly creatively bankrupt, and now their lawyers are going after YouTubers like myself who was on this stream, and now it's been blocked because we played something that's publicly available. That's that's the definition of fair use. You know what? I've got an idea for you. If you make good Star Trek, you'll make more money. You'll sell more toys. You'll have more products out there. You're driving your franchise into the ground because the people that are making it don't care about it. They want the money, but they don't care about making good programming. And by the way, I don't think they know how. So why don't you go after YouTube channels that are critical of you after you release a trailer that it demands to be ridiculed?
See, you're upset about a thing that you love that's dead now. Mine's Doctor Who.
What the fuck? Star Trek's not dead. How dare you? No, I'm just kidding.
You know what, guys?
And,
I know, Dave. I know
Neither
Star
one
Trek is not metal. All
Neither
right.
one's metal. And
All right,
Doctor
we're
Who-
not going to talk Star Trek or Doctor Who.
No.
We're not going
But
to.
we are getting a lot of. It sounds like the Imperial droid is trying to upload a message, to someone. We're getting a lot of that crackling feedback, man.
Cash.
We might have to.
We're going to let you go. We're going to bring on somebody else, but I want to. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah.
And we will see you soon.
Have a good night.
You
All
too.
right, man. You too. All right, Dave. I get it. We're talking
I'm sorry.
about Star
I'm sorry.
By the way, though, I just want to say that it is true that a stream that I did where we talked about Star Trek Picard was blocked tonight by CBS.
No, that's a fair thing to bring up. But then when it starts getting into the minutia of it, is like, nah, we gotta. I gotta respectfully ask us to move on because you can cover that tomorrow.
Oh, yes, I can.
And it was a very good rant, though, Rob. I do like it. Since
you.
I know good rants. So
my only rant is the same. Just make good things.
Yes.
Hire people that love your product. Hire creators that love your franchise. Oh, guess who? Okay, this is very exciting.
okay,
I'm bringing Diesel Time. We can hear you, but we can't see you, Diesel Time.
you're looking like the Norwegian guys from The Thing.
Okay,
blended together.
now Diesel Time made Wiener Kill, which was a movie that was part of the Intergalactic Imagination Connoisseurs Film Festival. In fact, it was one of the first movies that came in. If you haven't seen Wiener Kill, I would ask everyone to watch it because I don't know why, but it makes me laugh every time I see it. It definitely has a Cheech and Chong vibe to it. But if you haven't seen Wiener Kill, you should. Now, Diesel Time has made Wiener Kill 2
already. Wow.
And while I'm going to put Diesel Time in, even though we can't really see him, we're getting a weird, I don't know what's going on with his picture, but we can hear him. So I'm
I don't know. It is weird. Whoa. Yeah, it's like an old TV like signal getting warped, like when you were trying to like access, channels you couldn't get back in the day through cable.
Oh yeah, but I can hear you fine. So this is I'm going to put you in. We're going to watch this crazy. I think that the way your screen looks right now is exactly kind of cool. It definitely supports. So it supports what you're trying to do. So I'm going to put you in the show live because I would love to talk to you about me. So here we go.
Oh,
now
here's a good question.
Hang on. So Diesel Time is now in the show. Please welcome Diesel Time,
Yay!
the man behind Wiener Kill, which has a talking hot dog that talks about your mother's tatas.
Hey.
So
nice.
So Diesel Time, how did you come up with the idea of Wiener Kill?
It's a funny story, Rob. You put out this whole idea of maybe we could have a film in your contest, and I came up with a whole idea for a film, and I can't remember what that idea is at the moment.
By the way, you sent me
just now. Did you get it?
A Dropbox, but I can't. I don't have permission to download the movie.
Oh, okay. So the last one was open. I got to go back into the drive. Let's keep talking, but I'm gonna make it public.
Oh, okay.
So you put out the call to make the whole short film, the contest. And I like came up with an idea, some storyboards, and Shaggy, I don't know what he was thinking, but he was like, "Hey man, I've got this idea for a movie, and do you want to do it?" And I wasn't quite sure if he was like pitching a movie or if he was like pitching like, "Hey, do you want to make a sausage to eat?"
Maybe both.
Yeah, so it ended up being a little bit of both, and that's how we ended up making the movie.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm gonna drop a link to Wiener Kill.
I just made it public right now, so anyone with the link, I believe you're the only one. Me and you, right now we have it.
Wait, which link is it the one you sent me on Twitter?
The one I sent you on Twitter. Look at that. My screen. It is showing me now that I had the chance to jump back.
Oh.
Yeah, the one I sent to you on Twitter is now public.
The Google Drive one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well then, okay.
Well, so if you can like go full screen with that, it's in your hands, man.
Well, what I need to do is I need to download it so I can play it on the show. I'm going to download anyway. And
you can download it, or also, I believe if you click on it, just the preview button should go instantly.
Yeah, but I can't. I got to put it in the show.
Okay.
And I'm very excited.
Keep it moving. The show will go on.
Yeah, we can keep talking. I'm downloading this. I can't wait. Okay. Here it is. Oh, dude. All right. Oh, wow. I'm very excited about this. I can't wait to see this. I'm very, very excited to play. Would this be the world premiere?
Of course.
Oh my God.
There's been some previews on Instagram, some tidbits I've shared with my friends, but this would be the full front to back premiere.
Okay, I've got to tell you, for those of you who don't know, Wiener Kill was one of the first movies that I was submitted for the Intergalactic Imagination Connoisseurs Film Festival. Hey, now we can see you. Look at that.
Can you see me? Because now I'm just messing with my own visual.
Oh, no, I couldn't. You were messing with your.
For a minute
there.
You're getting a little better.
You're getting better. So we are going to have, Midnight Metal is going to have a world premiere right now live. We are going to show Wiener Kill 2. Now, before I show this Diesel Time, do you want to give us a little bit of a preamble as a filmmaker? Do you want to set the stage for those of us who haven't seen Wiener Kill?
All right. So Wiener Kill 1, like I said, was just my roommate's idea. He was like, "Hey man, I got this extra sausage. Like, do you want to cook it up?" And I said, "Yeah, man. Like, but are you talking about like bringing out the camera right now?" He's like, "Yeah, let's film it." I'm like, "All right, let's go. Let's film it. Let's film it. Let's go nuts. Let's go crazy. There's no rules. Like this Imagination Connoisseurs Film Festival, it could be anything." And so we put it out, and it got like 1,000 views right off the bat, and all these likes and comments, and thank you so much to everyone. There were so many people saying, "Yo, when is the next one? What happens next? We need to see more. These guys are great." And it was such a massive response that I felt like part 2 was mandatory. It couldn't not be made. So there was no rush. I didn't get right on it.
Where did you get the idea of a sausage talking and wanting to see your mama's tatas?
It was Shaggy's idea to have a disrespectful wiener. And like he'd be like a dick, you know, a wiener.
I love it. All right, well, without further ado, we're going to show, pardon me, Diesel Time and Shaggy's. Do you both get how do the credits fall on this one?
Yeah, so we had the first one was just the two of us. It was his idea, my expertise, and him just like, you know, taking my direction. And the second one, we had our friend Raul, who also does more like video and creative stuff, and we let him kind of do the direction on this one, but it was still my editing, my writing, my storyboarding to kind of get it. Yeah, so yeah. That's enough.
Well, without further ado, Wiener Kill 2. It's 4 minutes and 12 seconds. This is the first time we've had a world premiere film on Midnight Metal. Dave, how metal is this? Come on.
Premieres are always fucking metal, man. I'm excited, though I haven't seen one, so I hope there's a recap, you know, like they used to do at the beginning of the Friday 13th
no fucking
All
recap.
you gotta know is he's a real asshole, and we ate that motherfucker.
Okay. Oh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gentle souls, kind beings across the 28 known galaxies, strap in for Wiener Kill 2.
God, yeah. Dude, have you tried the brisket?
Nah, man. Waiting on my DoorDash.
This shit is fucking amazing. Some dude at the end of my shift didn't even want it. I called him, never came out. I called the thing and they said, just take it.
No way.
Hell yeah.
Alright, let's see what we got here.
They nearly messed up the foil?
Yeah, these motherfuckers.
Lazy.
Someone's been fucking tampering with my shit.
Sure you don't want some of this brisket?
Whoa.
Is that?
This motherfucker's back again.
Orale, putos!
What did you just say?
I've crawled my way out of your stinky culos to enact my revenge. Tonight you will know how it feels to be devoured.
What the fuck, dude? This motherfucker's back.
Yo, Shaggy. What? You're looking pretty tasty, man.
What the fuck?
I could totally take a bite out of you right now. Hey, fool, handle your brisket.
I'm all out of the brisket, man. I'm so hungry. Dude, I'm so
Chalice.
hungry.
Chalice.
Bro, dude, I'm gonna fucking eat you, Shaggy. I'm looking at my fingers. I'm about to take a bite out of your arm.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna put all your leg meat and your arm meat, your breast meat. I'm gonna eat your butt, fool. I'm gonna eat you alive. I'm gonna fucking eat you, Shaggy. I'm going to fucking eat you, Shaggy.
Yes. That's it, cabrón. Go for the wiener. Wait, what are you doing? Not again!
You want a bite of the sausage, fool?
What?
Want some of the sausage?
Fuck no.
Damn, I'm gonna start smoking, man.
All right.
Well, I don't know what to say other than fuck yeah, dude. That was so fucking metal. I can't believe that if nothing else, maybe on my tombstone they'll put, if nothing else, he inspired Wiener Kill 1 and 2. So thank you for that. This is our first Midnight Metal world premiere. How long did it take you to make that?
We shot it in probably an hour or two.
Of course.
The night of. And then I was on a work vacation. This is my last night in the Bay Area, and I was just squeezing in little things like making the face for the wiener, making the music. If anyone's fans of the SDN network, I did another sausage filmed thing. It was a cartoon called Ed the Sausage Guy, and I had the same polka music, and I made up some music for Wiener Kill 2 that I didn't like, and I was like, crunched on time, and I'm like, well, I have this polka music. What if I slowed it down like it was like a southern like UGK like lowrider, and it just fit in perfectly. Like, okay, sometimes you run short on time, you just got a shorthand. And then today was just the big crunch day. I like just spent all day nitpicking through every little scene and putting in the blood squirts, the sound effects, the color grade, everything just down to the wire. Literally, you had Dave and Andre on, and I was like, oh, I thought tonight's show was canceled because when I came on at midnight, the show wasn't on. So I deleted the original file. And I got back on, I took out some sounds and put in a last bit thing and just boom, nailed it right in time.
Well, my God, thank
Congratulations.
you.
Thank you.
I have to say, I think I didn't know I needed a talking sausage in my life, but now I know I do. And to see Wiener Kill 2, congratulations to you, sir. And by the way, I want to point out that Diesel Time did compose the theme song for Fully Articulated. Which,
Awesome.
Yes, I did.
yeah, so I want to point out that you did, and I'm so happy to have. Can I, or maybe you should cut them together? And are you going to make a Wiener Kill 3?
Oh man,
We need
you know, I hadn't
we need
thought
the
that far
return of the
ahead.
Jedi of the Wiener.
Wiener.
The return of the
cannot.
Jedi of the Wiener Kill universe. Make it happen, man. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this one really took the stakes up a bit, or at least the attempt, the swing was a bit bigger. So the third one would really, you know, I'd have to go for it.
Yeah, I think. By the way, I demand it. You know.
Oh my God, Rob demands it. I'm gonna have to break into your observatory and like steal some action figure legs or something.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
He's got to be like a Robo Wiener next time.
Okay, maybe. Yeah.
You got to update
I
it
have
just like
Rock'em
John Wick.
Sock'em-
Yeah.
I have a Rock'em Sock'em Venom. I might have to retrofit it to.
I love it.
Make it a wiener.
There you go. But you know, I'm almost afraid to ask what the obsession with hot dogs and sausage are, as far as your as far as your cinematic over that you've been investigating and doing. I mean, it's always good to you know, Woody Allen's got his thing, and you clearly got the market on sausages and those things.
Yeah, it's a great question. You know,
have you
my roommate
thought
came
about
up
that?
with the first idea, and then Christian Harloff came with the second idea, and then I was just kind of, you know, forced into this sequel by the fans. It's none of my doing. I am completely at the whim of these nerds and imagination connoisseurs.
Just like George Lucas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bastard.
Well, listen, Diesel
But I did
time.
have one goal.
Oh, what's that?
And I did have one goal. And you've been bringing up this Chris Gore interview.
Yes.
And my only goal was to make it, can you guess it starts with the letter F?
Film threat.
Film threat.
Fun, Rob.
Oh.
Did you have fun?
I of course I had fun. I have to tell you that Elizabeth and I, when I first got Wiener Kill, Elizabeth and I watched it a lot. I mean, and we
It was their foreplay.
it was not our foreplay, but we did the voice. Let me see your tatas. I mean, we did the whole it for like a month.
Rob, let's watch Wiener Kill again.
We did watch Wiener Kill a lot.
Before we do it, let's do it.
You just want to see that sausage.
Wiener Kill 1, no, it was pretty damn funny. And
It's
I have
so
to say
much
it's on
bigger.
the playlist for the Imagination Connoisseur Film Festival. It just tickles me to death that you made a sequel to Wiener Kill. Now, can I put it up on the channel, my YouTube channel?
Yeah, you have the file. I'm going to put it on my own.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
It's mine. I can do what I want with it.
Of
But
course.
yes, you can do it. You
Of
can,
course,
you can monetize it, Rob. Make money off of it's my gift to you. It's my thank you for having me on the channel. How about that?
I will do that. I will give you full credit, and because I love it so much. And I have to say that maybe we should do like an epic. When you make the third movie, you got to cut it into one, the Wiener Kill
Fest.
saga.
Wienerfest.
Yeah, or whatever.
All movies about sausages and hot dogs.
You know, it's
Or
like
wieners.
it's like Kill Bill 1 and 2, and they were cut together. It's called Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair.
But this could be the whole linked
link
affair.
The whole linked affair. I loved this, so I want to thank you for letting us premiere it here. It means a lot, and this movie rules. And for all of you, if you haven't seen Wiener Kill 1, why haven't you? It's on the Burnettwork. It's on the playlist. Just look up Wiener Kill, made by Diesel Time. Now you directed, you produced, you were a jack of all trades on this movie. Special effects artist, scored it.
Props.
Yeah. I'm no master. I own no black belts, but I've got a closet full of brown ones. They suit me just fine.
I love it. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much, Diesel Time, for everything you do. I want to thank you for your piece of music you made that I use on Fully Articulated. And you truly are, sir, an imagination connoisseur par excellence, and we clearly park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay.
Absolutely, Rob.
Don't you mean
You
your
know-
fucking 70s painted van in the same garage?
Okay, no.
Come on, dude.
My
No.
van is
Remember
a little
which
newer.
show you're on, Rob.
Yeah, he's got Diesel Time has a newer van, you know. Come on now. All right,
It's a
well,
little smaller though. It's
sir-
packed full of landscaping tools.
I love it. That's
Awesome.
even
Hey
better.
Rob, I have an idea for a show.
Bring it. I'm in.
See, I've got this Rascache Media publishing thing that I use,
Yes.
and people are always asking me, "Hey, how do I even pronounce that? What's it, Rascache? No, it's Rascache. What does that mean? Where did you get that? What is this all about? It's such a silly word. How do I pronounce it even?" And I explained to them, it's like the Mexican version of Ghetto Fabulous or White Trash. As Jeff Foxworthy would say, the glorious lack of sophistication. Is that right?
Rascache. I love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So my show idea would be the meaning of Rascache, because people are always asking. And the show would actually be highlighting movies that have that Rascache aesthetic.
I like that. Now, what would be an example? Like, if someone asked you,
Oh, right off the bat,
what movie would be an example? What could we watch?
The king of Rascache would have to be Robert Rodriguez. So that first mariachi movie that he made for like $9.
El Mariachi, the first one.
Rascache as fuck. the Dawn of the Dead movie that he made, super Rascache. And it doesn't just have to be, I mean, all the Rodriguez stuff is, but pretty much like the Expendables movie.
The first one?
I guess the whole trilogy. Yeah. All that B movie, fun. As long as like you just had a fun time doing it and you're not worried about are we going to make our money back? Because if you are having fun, there is definitely an audience out there for whatever it is that you are doing. And that is really the main focus, like that you are bringing the best version of what, like Wiener Kill. Its ceiling is pretty low. Let's be honest. It's a talking sausage with a bunch of like stoners. Let's not get into like the 9-minute territory. Let's cut it off right at 4. Like, let's bring the best 4 minutes that we can.
I like that.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, bringing on all these movies, Big Trouble, Little China. I mean, that's a big heavy hitter of Rascache, and it's not Mexican made. It doesn't have to be Mexican, but just that flavor.
I agree. I'm with you. I'm totally there, and I think you captured that. And go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
Have you seen that movie Low Life yet?
I have not.
You got to check that out.
Low Life.
Low Life.
I'm a bit of a
that's
low life.
That's definitely in
Rascache.
Yes.
By the way, I
Okay,
think
see?
Rascache might have to be the motto of this show. Is it Rascache? Because Rascache is metal.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't know.
I think it is. Come on, El Mariachi is fucking metal.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No.
The first El Mariachi.
Desperado is way more metal.
Well, it's a little bit more accomplished, a little bit more money, but the idea of Rascache, if I understand it correctly, is more embodied by El Mariachi than by Desperado.
Well, if you're talking, yeah, I mean, technically you might be right. I don't know.
John Robertson says, Big
Wait.
Trouble, Little Wiener.
Yeah, if you have a little wiener, you got big trouble.
I think Diesel Time, we lost Diesel Time.
Oh, okay.
I think he's gone, but
We got a couple chats in there to answer before we bring someone else on.
we
Rob,
do,
I think.
Dave, and we've got some super chats. Riley Parker sends in a super chat and says, "Who
No
understands
relation.
Superman better, is Brian or Zach?" Uh-oh.
and you can't say Donner. We have to answer within this. And to me, it's easy. Zach. Bryan Singer made Superman a whiny emo bitch.
Dave, we worked on his documentary. Come on.
I know. And Superman was a whiny emo bitch.
I'm eating pistachios, by the way, for those of you who don't know.
Smashios.
I would say that, you can't. Who understood him better? They were both doing very different things in their movies.
Yes, Bryan was being slavishly. And look, I like Superman Returns, and yes, I did work on it, and it was a absolute thrill. But Bryan was so devoted to the Richard Donner thing that he didn't make it his own thing. It's problematic. Zach made Superman fresh and new, his own thing. So I give it to Snyder, absolutely. As far as what's the more successful movie. I mean, even to the point where it's like Lex Luthor just wants land again. I mean, we could go over and over and over the problems with the story of Superman Returns.
But the question was, who understood Superman better?
Zach.
All right, I'll grant you that.
Again, but I don't think he actually really got the chance. He got the first step, but he didn't get part two to really go into Superman proper, because he was doing such a different thing. In Bryan's, he was already established as Superman.
That's good. A good point. I'll grant you that. By the way, Saberwolf, Dave.
That's a metal fucking name. Says,
hey, Rob and Dave and guests. What are y'all's opinions, and that's how it's written, on what the hell was in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction? Also, anytime I'm having a heated debate with someone and a third person comes in, I always lead with, I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing. All in fun. Well, I think that's the exact way you should handle that. I'm all in. But what do you think, Dave? What was in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction?
I think exactly the same thing that was in the briefcase in Kiss Me Deadly.
Which was?
I just answered it, Rob.
Okay.
And if you don't know, do your homework, guys, because that's where the briefcase came from.
Yeah, I know.
Kiss Me Deadly. The stuff that dreams are made of.
It is the stuff that dreams are made of. But for me, I think the important thing about what's in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction, you can't define it. To define it is to diminish the film itself.
Of course.
What do we think? Well, I would say it's a litmus test. Go ahead.
Yes. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just said it's a litmus test. It was designed to make you, the viewer, ask yourself, you have to provide. The movie works because you provide your own answer to that question as the movie goes along. And it's part of the experience of watching the film, is you have to supply that answer. And I love that about Pulp Fiction.
I do too. Though, what I was going to say is maybe this new live show called Tarantino Live will answer the question on what's in the briefcase. I don't know. It's a very bizarre live show where Fox Force 5 does a whole musical tribute number to Tarantino movies. It's, from what I've seen, very, very strange.
Dave,
probably what's in the briefcase is something that Harvey Weinstein doesn't want us to see.
Could be. It could be. Wakazashi came in here, but I don't see Wakazashi. Wakazashi's here. There we go.
Sweet.
Can you hear us, Wakazashi? We can't hear you.
He's like, I wasn't ready. Oh, no,
I can see you, Kirk. Can you see me? We can't hear you. In a world where people... Although, he's a handsome man. I'm going to put him on the show anyway. We might not be able to hear him.
Really? Do you mime well? Because or charades that people can play along?
No, he can hear us, man. We can't hear him.
Right, but that's what... So they aren't going to... So if he can mime or, stuff, then it'll be fun for everyone else, too.
Well, we're not going to put him in the show if we can't hear him. Wakazashi, he might even be actually in Japan, which means I can have him shop for Gundam stuff for me. That's all I can say. There's look, man, I saw Voight Roberts, who's directing the Gundam movie. That motherfucker had the new Gundam, the $900 Bandai Gundam. That shit was out on pre-order. I did not get it, and I wanted it so goddamn bad, and I couldn't get that shit. And he had it. He's like, "Hi, I'm Jordan Voight Roberts. I'm directing the Gundam movie."
You didn't direct Kong Skull Island, motherfucker.
Look, man, let me just tell you, I wanted that. It's the new Gundam from Char's Counterattack. I wanted that Gundam, man. And it was the $900 fucking real metal shit, and I didn't get it because it was fucking sold out. But you know what? Let me tell you, that's why I have a Japanese shopper now, and that's why he's buying me the Hachette pieces to the 4-foot-long Starship Andromeda from Space Battleship Yamato 2205. I'm already getting that shit. He's sending me the first box of my first 15 kits. 4 feet long, dude!
Rob?
Anyone's going like, what are you talking about? Anyway.
You're obsessed with length.
I'm all right. You know what? Okay, say what you want.
Hey, come on, that was good.
Wakazashi, I want to hear you. Why can't I hear you? He's laughing at our jokes.
I know.
I can't hear you. I want to know why. Come on, I want to put you in. I want to put you in, coach. Anyway.
I will say this though, because I did bag while we're trying to work out this technical difficulty. I will say this about Superman Returns. Yes. The one thing that I love about the movie is Brandon Routh.
We can't hear you yet. He asked. We can't. I don't know why we can't hear you. I love Brandon Routh. He was amazing. He was great.
I think he's great. I think he really he embodied Superman. I thought he was great. And what a great guy! What a nice guy! I mean, I didn't get to go to Australia with you to be on that set.
Well, you were working on
right. I was working on Narnia, so I couldn't.
Right.
And there was a little bit of crossover and everything there, but I remember when he would stop by the office and the edit bay, and he'd come in and he'd be looking for you or something, just like hanging out, which was really cool. But I was just like, at that time, I was like, oh shit, Superman's in my edit bay.
I know.
This is pretty fucking awesome.
Oh, wait.
We can hear
now
you.
We can hear you. Wakazashi, we can hear you. Yes. We're putting you in. Oh my God. Oh, you are so in the show right now. Wakazashi is here in Japan. Welcome, Wakazashi.
Wow.
You are here on Midnight Metal.
Am I in the show? Are you serious?
You're in the show right now.
Woohoo!
Yes, sir.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you with your Led Zeppelin T-shirt.
Oh, that's awesome.
So let me ask you this. Will you get me that new Gundam kit that Ben... No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm just...
Welcome to the shopping section of
I know.
Midnight Metal.
Look, I'm a Japanese...
Hey, I want... Get me some fucking killer Godzilla figures, and then we can call it even, man.
Come on, he will. So, first of all, we haven't had... This is Wakazashi's first appearance on Midnight Metal. Look at that. So, where in Japan are you? Where in Japan are you?
I'm in a small town in Japan called Yonago.
Yonago. Now, where are you from originally?
I'm from Manchester in the UK.
Yeah. What brought you to Japan?
Yeah.
The land of the rising sun.
It's a long story, Rob, and I've just got to say, I've got like 2 audios going at the same time. I can hear you, I can hear Dave, I can hear me.
Uh-oh.
It's really weird.
Oh, maybe it's a feedback loop. We can hear you though, and it's good. I don't know what's happening. But it's great to hear you. Now, what brought you to Japan?
I went to Australia in 1998, 1999 for 1 year. I did a working holiday. And in Australia, this amazing Japanese woman.
All right.
Later on, we got to, by chance, we had a long distance relationship, and got married in Manchester in the UK, and then moved to Japan.
Okay, this is an amazing story.
I still can't believe it, because when I was young, I used to dream about
trap Japanese girls.
Yeah, I
you
used to dream
dreamed about
Japan when I
Japanese
was a
girls.
kid, so it's crazy that I'm here. I still.
Well, let me ask you this, because you have to be an imagination connoisseur.
Okay.
Did your wife grow up with anime, and does she have a favorite anime series? And also, I would be remiss if I didn't ask, does your wife have a favorite Godzilla movie?
She was not really into anime when she was young.
Oh.
Lost him. He was having a lag too, so it was unfortunately that sucks.
Oh, look at Diesel Time. He's back. Damn. Well, Diesel Time, I'm going to put you in because we haven't actually we had him. We had Waka's. Oh man,
we'll give Diesel see if he comes back. Now that people can see Diesel, so they can connect the wiener to the face.
The wiener to the face, Dave. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna bring back in. I'll bring back in Diesel Time. Diesel, can you hear me?
Oh, I don't know.
Diesel, can you hear me? We can't hear him. He's still. Diesel, can you hear me, sir? Oh wait, well,
it's like Yentl. Oh. Diesel, can you hear me?
Diesel, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Hey,
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
So I watched the trailer for the new Godzilla anime.
Yes. Oh.
Do you know Jet Jaguar is in it?
No.
Yes.
Somebody joked with me the other day that Jet Jaguar was in it. I'm like, no way.
That was me.
Apparently.
That was me. Was
that you?
Well, I said about the next MonsterVerse movie that was all going to be about Jet Jaguar, and you bought that hook, line, and sinker. But no, he's actually
Dave. Why wouldn't I trust you? Why wouldn't I trust you?
In there. Well, we've worked together long enough now. You should know, and we've been friends for so long. You should know not to trust me.
Okay, but hey, by the way, we've got a Riley Parker sends in a super chat and says Brian did the Christ allegories better than Zack Snyder.
I don't know about that. I mean, I thought it was a little on the nose, and I Rob, you can chime in. I've said what I feel about which is the stronger movie.
No, I think it's okay. Do you know who's here? I have to say that the great Connie Sang is here.
Who's that?
I know. You might ask, who is that? She is in charge of the experiential engagement division of a company that manufactures JBL speakers, for one. Which, by the way, I have right over there. You can't see them. You're going to be able to see them soon. But in the Robservatory, I've got JBL studio speakers. I've got a subwoofer.
And you get the soundbar. That's the one you were talking about. The sound.
That's exactly right.
Man, and I was so jealous.
And Connie Sang, and I hope I'm pronouncing her last name. It's because it's like Shang-Chi. Is it Shang?
Shang-Chi.
I know it's her last name's Connie. I say Sang because it's Tsang. I know I've been mispronouncing it the whole time, but she's like, it's okay. But let me just say, yes, and we gave away on Robservations 400 a JBL soundbar. We had over 12,000 people.
I didn't win it.
No.
I tried, but I didn't.
A lot of people tried, but and it was shipped. The person who won it was very. People believe it was a woman in the Midwest.
Good for her.
Yes. So
you deserve the best sound.
So Connie says, hello, good morning, and good night.
Oh.
You know, it's funny. Like, I have these relationships with people I've never met and never actually spoken to. It's just been on It's been on social media and things like that. So, Connie, I consider you a foundational member of the Post-Geek Singularity and an imagination connoisseur par excellence. And by the way, she also sent me a set of headphones that I use. All of the headphones she sent me, they've all been...
Come on, dude. Stop rubbing it in.
No, they've all been absconded. All the women in the house take them for gaming. They take everything.
Well, that's great.
It's great, but...
I don't get paid for this show, guys. I just work here. I just come here for you guys.
Hey, man, we're going to put this on a pay basis.
Rob gets all the perks. He steals them all. He steals them all.
That is so not true.
Hey, I wanted to say also, or did she have a question or a chat before I?
No, she just said it. She sent in a tip. She said hello, good morning, and good night. And I have to tell you that Connie's saying means a lot to me.
That's really awesome.
Norwegian Kryptonian says, in my opinion, Brian tried hard to make Christopher Reeve Superman, but man, I really want a Brandon Routh Kingdom Come HBO Max show. Shine on. Look,
yes.
After I think that would be great. I'd love to see that.
I have a feeling that they'll do Kingdom Come as one of the animated films.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't, like a two-parter.
I'm sure they're gearing up for it, but that's got to be a really daunting one. I mean, they are doing the Long Halloween, which I am excited for. Very excited.
Wait, Wakazashi, he's from the UK. He fell in love with a Japanese girl. He got married to her, and he's living in Japan. That to me is like the dream thing. I wish we didn't lose him. I want to bring him back. Keep trying to come on, Wakazashi. Just saying.
El Necron, and you know what? Now that we've gotten, I just want to because he brought this up, and I agree with him. Now that we've gotten Godzilla, we've gotten Kong in the MonsterVerse, we've gotten Ghidorah, Rodan, Mothra. Now we need Inframan.
But Inframan is not Japanese. Inframan is Chinese, Dave.
I don't care. We still need a new Inframan.
Bruh, I have an Inframan one sheet hanging up in our house.
The design on that movie, especially those skeletal guys, fucking awesome. That movie is so great.
Dude, I so love fun. Inframan. Love it. I unfortunately when the great holocaust of my storage locker, I lost my Inframan action figure. That it was the 12-inch. You know what? Very upset. By the way, Riley Parker says, I worked as a VFX artist on Superman Returns when I was at Rhythm and Hues. From 2004 to 2010, it's still a special film to me. I love talking to others who worked on it. Well, Riley, let me tell you, one of the things that they did, that they created, and it was at Rhythm and Hues. I went to Rhythm and Hues, and I interviewed him, and I forget his name. They created a particle. One of the things Superman Returns did was pioneer water. CGI water. And I went to Rhythm and Hues and I did a whole piece, and I didn't get to finish it because they weren't paying me to do post-production. And yeah. I went there and I was going to do a whole piece on the Rhythm and Hues. They had created, I think it was proprietary, but how to do CGI water. And the water in Superman Returns was state-of-the-art. People like, what? It was hard. It was hard. But I did that at Rhythm and Hues. And Rhythm and Hues was doing Narnia, too.
That movie, I mean, again, even though, look, I kind of dogged on the movie, it's always going to be a very special movie for me as well. Being able to work on it in any capacity was absolutely incredible to interact with the people connected with it and stuff. But yeah, we didn't really get to do any post-production stuff on that disc. The only thing that we got to do, which was what a fucking thrill, was when Ottman recorded the Superman theme.
Oh, dude.
At the Eastwood stage. Holy shit, that was amazing. To be standing in the middle of the full orchestra doing John Williams' theme. But I think that was the only, like, quote unquote sort of post-production thing we actually got to cover, right?
Yeah, well I did go to, we weren't contracted to do that.
Right.
And it was frustrating. We were only given money to cover the actual production. And I argued, I said, hey, and they were kind of like, well, you should do it anyway.
Yeah.
No, we can't.
You're making enough money. Just do it.
Yeah, we can't. Like, are you kidding me? Like, give me a break. I was in Australia for a year on your dime. We don't. It's not. It's not good. So Riley Parker says he worked as a VFX artist on Superman Returns when he was at Rhythm and Hughes. He had to have been at Rhythm and Hughes when they were working on Narnia 2 in 2004, because he says 2004 to 2010. It is a special film, and they did. Rhythm and Hughes did great work, and they did great work on Narnia as well.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I mean, again, and even for me, even a more special movie to be a part of, in a way.
Oh yeah, no.
Even though we were the least important part of the we weren't even a part of the making of that movie, but we were the least important part of that.
Well,
movie.
what was
still great?
What was really weird about that movie is even when I started, like Andrew Adamson had only worked in animation, and it was his first. And I tried to I went to the first pitch meetings and stuff, and I was there, and guess who's in, Dave?
Is it Brett?
Yes, it is.
Fuck yeah! I was gonna say, come on, Brett, get in here.
Brett Pierce, ladies and gentlemen. Brett Pierce. Brett, can you hear us? Oh, we can hear you too.
See, filmmakers, they know how to work tech.
Come on now, don't expect everybody.
No, not everyone, but it's But I'm just glad that it's all smooth and working. More so for everyone else watching.
Look, I agree, and Brett Pierce. I keep talking about Brett and his brother, and how they're like two of the nicest guys that I've met in a long time, and they like to drink and have fun, and they made a great fucking movie in The Wretched. If you people haven't seen The Wretched, first of all, creature effects, right? Am I right?
Yeah, by Eric Porn. I know his company. What's his? Is Brett on right now?
Well, he can hear you.
He can hear me. I'm wait. I'll wait until he's on. The lag thing always messes me up too.
Oh well, but you can.
Sorry.
Brett. If Brett were to speak to you right now, he can hear you.
Yeah, but I want everyone else to hear.
Well, they will. Okay, we're gonna put him in, Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome The Wretched's co-impresario, one of the two halves of the Pierce brothers team. You know him, you love him, but more importantly, you love his movie, The Wretched. Welcome, Brett Pierce, to Midnight Metal. Brett, are you feeling fucking metal tonight?
Hey guys.
Are you metal?
I'm feeling
Rob,
metal
you can
right
Rob, you can do better than that.
What do you mean I can do better?
Metal.
Are you feeling fucking
okay, dude.
metal?
Okay, fucking Brett. Are you fucking feeling fucking goddamn metal tonight? Fuck yeah! Is that what you mean?
That's what I mean.
You just directed me
That's
on my own
what we
show
need.
to give a line reading.
This is what we needed. This is what we needed. We were missing this tonight, man.
Fuck yeah, we did. There you go. Is that once more with feeling?
Thank you.
Now Brett's gonna be like, well, Rob, I didn't appreciate that line reading.
Buffy reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do we go from
Brett,
here?
You want another take?
Yeah,
The battle's won, or the battle's done, and we've kind of won. So we'll shed our victory tear. Tell me. Now I'm gonna get demonetized, but once more with feeling. There you go.
Hey Brett, just before we get into some shit.
Oh
here,
man, we just lost Brett. No, he'll come back.
He'll come back.
Oh man. Oh wait, you know who's here? Wait, hang on. It's Zevius, my man Zevius. Zevius, my man. Zevius, can I ask you a question? Can you hear me? Can I wait?
Where can hear?
Hang on. Hold on.
Oh, lost him too.
But what?
We're losing everyone.
Oh wait, wait, he's back. Can we hear you? Wow, this is great. Can you hear us
really
now?
It is like chat roulette now.
It is like chat. Can you hear us? I don't think he can hear us. No?
Oh no!
No, it's wait. We'll put us back. Who's gonna be on next? Brett. Brett is back.
Okay.
Oh
Please
yes.
stand by for technical difficulties.
Oh, I think we can hear you now, Brett.
Oh, yeah.
There
much
we
better,
go.
much better.
There we go. Oh, you know what? That's
it's got to be Chrome, guys.
It's got to be Chrome.
You got to use Chrome.
You got to use Chrome. That's what she said.
Fucking.
Well, you tell us. Hang on, before you let me put you into this show because you're not here yet.
Dieter Bastian is here though. I can see him. He's there.
Well, by God, he should be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's gonna be, and Brett knows Dieter. So hang on.
He's prepping for the show. Yeah.
Let me put Brett in first. I know it's hard. It's hard.
It's so hard.
Okay, you know what? Okay, I shouldn't have. You know what? Okay.
Oh, Rob, it's so hard.
I love it. Welcome, Brett Pierce, back to the show. Brett, welcome back to Midnight Metal. Now we can hear you.
Hey, just slip me in there, Rob. No,
oh boy! Oh boy!
Oh really?
Well,
No
Brett,
lube or anything. Just slip you right in.
Well, I would expect to have that rim job first. Oh wait, hang on. What'd I say? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I was kidding. Sort of.
Yeah, it's okay.
Anyway, it's late night. So Brett, how are you, sir?
I'm great. It's the weekend, which is good. It's been a busy 2 weeks, so it's nice to just relax in my apartment and have a drink. My girlfriend's been asleep for about 2 hours, so it's just me here right now. So it's kind of cool.
Wait a minute, Brett.
Yeah,
you did the Wretched. You aren't living in a mansion yet?
Oh no!
What the fuck? I mean,
Come on, dude. The #1 box office grossing film of the summer of 2020. Didn't you make that Endgame cash?
Yeah. Where's the mansion, man?
Yeah,
guys,
dude.
I think I've said this before, actually.
Aren't we going to have a party at your place?
The week I hit #1, I filed for unemployment.
That's the way to do it.
That's awesome.
It's a metal way.
I need to get by right now. So yeah.
Fuck.
No, but that's the world we all live in. Like you guys are used to that too.
Oh yes.
I think a lot of people understand that. Brett, I'm just curious. For people who, and shame on you all if you haven't watched The Wretched yet, is what streaming service is The Wretched available on right now? Just for everyone, so they
It's on, in the States, it's on Hulu. Pretty much everywhere else, it's on Netflix. So, but in the States, it's Hulu. So yeah.
Interesting. Very cool.
But it's also on German 4K disc as The Witch Next Door. Thank you, Dieter Bastian, for getting us all copies.
Well, not me, but that's okay because I have the Blu-ray.
Yeah, but it's not as good as the
4K. That's what I could get here in America. Come on, but yeah. So what's been going on for 2 weeks? We were supposed to launch Hellathon 2 weeks ago.
I did ask them. I mean, it's one thing to say that they do have people they have to consult. Like
No. It wasn't that as much as that we hit the 2 busiest weeks of our lives ever, and it was just because you guys have done this before too. We pitched the same project almost 20 times over 2 weeks, so it was just like a lot of stuff all at the same time. Plus just been a busy 2 weeks.
By the way, they should just greenlight your project. The frustrating for what
agree.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like I'm sure your next project is not a $65 million blockbuster.
It could be.
But it's not. And the thing is, here's the frustrating thing about Hollywood. You've already proven yourselves, and now, I mean, how many more actors are going to get their first shot at directing their first feature? You read about it every day in Deadline. We live in such a weird world where filmmakers that have already proven themselves more than once, like you guys did, why wouldn't they just greenlight your project and get you guys working? It's such a weird thing that you got a movie that like in the pandemic, here it was, it came out. It's like the world over. Why don't you let us make our next movie? That's how it's supposed to work.
You would think that's the way it works, and you guys,
but it isn't.
But it doesn't. It doesn't work that way at all. It's always there's always some weird hang up, or I mean, not that things aren't moving in a good way sometimes, but it's just like it doesn't work the way it should. You know, it's like it's all gummed up in the weirdest ways and doesn't make any sense. You know, like I'm trying to think of a good example of what we've been dealing with lately, not in a bad way, but it's just like everybody's got a different opinion. Everybody's got a different idea of why it's going to work when you're like, well, I know how it works because I already made it work.
Right.
Without all of you. So it's like, not to be full of myself in any way. So,
the people that you're pitching to have never made films.
Well, I would say it's a mixed bag. Some of them are really very smart story people, and I really, really respect them. And they're all the thing is like, in a weird way, it's the same way like filmmakers and all of us, we get shit on. We get people review our movies and shit on us sometimes. We just take it, but they don't know the situation of how we made it or how things worked out. Where like even with like studio execs and people at production companies, they all kind of have things that other people are asking them for, and you're kind of like asking them for it, and they have to ask somebody else for it, and it all has to magically align so it can happen, which is like a modern miracle just on its own. But like I sympathize with some of them because I understand like they have something they have to answer to and make happen, just the way like I have to answer to my creative endeavors of what I want to do, but they have somebody else. Like I've pitched sometimes to people and they're like, this is amazing, I love it. And then I know like it's got to go to the next stage to the boss, and it just doesn't make it past that spot. And it, not because they didn't like it and they didn't love it and they didn't care about it and they didn't love the idea and didn't care for it the same way we did. It's just it's a weird system, but you gotta, you guys know. You guys.
Yeah, but I would. So. I mean, I would say this that like because I worked as a development executive in the 90s for a director at a production company, and here's what always frustrated me. Even as I was a client at William Morris, I was also a reader and doing all these different things. What really frustrated me is no one that you pitch to, no one's ever going to look at your project objectively, because they live in fear. They live in fear for their jobs, they live in fear for their careers, and they feel that if they recommend something, if they say we should make this, that if it's wrong, they'll ruin their career somehow. So the business is designed, the way it works now is designed for people to not make things. And for us as creative people that have made things, we are wasting our time with people that don't want to say yes to our projects. Like, I would think that after The Wretched, here's how I would think a perfect world would work. So your movie didn't exactly break the bank. It was not expensive to make. And it's like, okay, and the movie, you've told me about a couple of your projects, and I'm thinking they all sound great. And they're not $65 to $100 million movies. Yeah. And I'm like, you made this for this much money. You caused this kind of a stir. I don't care. Here's the proper answer would be like, I don't care what you're going to make. I believe in you guys. Here's the money. Go make your $10 million follow-up to The Wretched. Yeah. Like, that's what I would say. Because...
I completely agree. It should work that way.
But the problem is you're dealing with people that have never actually themselves made movies. They might be great story people, and there are a lot of really good story people, and I think great story people are great. And I want to be like Coppola, man. When you're making a movie, you're directing a movie, you're rewriting your own script pages the night before to make them better, and you do that. I think that's terrific. But the problem is if you've never made a film and you've never dealt with the mechanics of visual storytelling, and when I mean the mechanics, I mean actually what you're going to shoot and how you're going to edit it and convey these feelings to the audience, when all you're doing is, all you've ever done is read screenplays, all you know is how a good screenplay is written. You don't know how a screenplay is going to be translated to film. You don't know what's in the director's minds, especially if they're auteurs and wrote their own screenplay. You can look at the screenplay and you can make mention of how it's going to, and I think it should work on paper beforehand. Absolutely. But if you've never actually made a film, your experience of what works is missing the visual component of what it's like to shoot something. So the director understands how they're going to convey these thoughts, but on the page it might be a little fallow. It's not quite. And they can't get beyond that. And yet they're telling you, filmmakers that have made money, they're telling you what's wrong with your script and why we shouldn't make it. And that's weird.
Yeah.
No other business works this way.
There's, sorry, Dave. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. Rob, I just got to say, I think you hit the nail on the head with executives being more fearful for their jobs than pushing movies through. And I just think, unfortunately, I always feel like I was born too late. If I had been older now and born earlier, where I could have made schlocky movies that would have gotten made, I probably would have been much happier and way more prolific, even in schlock. But the thing is, what you really need now is someone like Bob Ramey, who people never talk about and never gets enough credit, who ran Avco Embassy and would go, "Oh, Halloween was a hit, like The Wretched. Great, you have a 2-picture deal now. What are you going to do?"
Yeah.
We need executives like that. But now, and what's changed is now corporations own everything. So it becomes this fucking committee instead of like one person. Even when, who was it during the sort of 90s when, was it Tom Rothman at Universal, who was starting to like
Tom Rothman was at Fox.
Right. Well, who was it? Do you know who was it? It was an executive at Universal, and he was like, "Great, we're going to do Child's Play 2. We're going to pick up that thing from MGM. We're going to do. We'll give Wes Craven a couple pictures. We're going to give Sam Raimi a couple, deals and everything else." It's like, because they were fans of the genre. The problem is, I don't know how many execs, especially at the studio level, are legitimate fans of the genre. I
mean, my experience is some really are, but they're still like, what it is more than anything is the $5 to $10 million movie
right now
doesn't exist. Like everything's super expensive, so everything is a giant risk.
And you would think that would have changed given what we've just been through.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to make cheaper movies.
Yeah.
Well, I don't look. I look at what Jason Blum is doing. I keep going back to Lee Whannell's Invisible Man, $8 million film.
Yeah.
And it made $100 million.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a huge hit, but Universal's like their corporate parents or whatever. They're like, we need that $1 billion gross.
Right.
And I would say, why aren't studios, why don't they all have their Blumhouses where they're making movies for 10 million and under, genre pictures, and if they turn out well, they put up theatrical marketing money and they put them out theatrically, and if they don't turn out as well, then they put them on their streaming services. But you're cultivating talent, you're making films.
Yeah.
But now everyone has to hit a grand slam. Everyone's looking for that $1 billion gross. That's a bad business model.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't just have arena tours. You got to have club dates too.
Yeah.
The other thing is, look at Blumhouse now. Look what they're doing, Rob. They're moving away from that. They're going to They're doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. They're fucking They're filming Firestarter right now, and then they're going into Christine. Do we need these movies?
Well, I mean,
and
look,
they're more expensive movies. They're going for pre-sold existing properties now instead of being bold. And I always bring up the case of Whiplash, which Jason Blum said, I'll never do anything like
Yep,
that again
I know.
because it didn't make money. And it's one of the best things that's ever connected with his name.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Still
crazy.
They're still doing smaller stuff over there. I mean, it's not the.
But it
like,
goes to Hulu directly and stuff. It's
Yeah,
considered
yeah.
like television movies for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll believe me, I'm not
Yeah.
not balking in any of it because those budgets are still higher than probably anything I've gotten to do. So it's like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. The Amazon movies, those are bigger. They got deals with every fucking streaming service. He's incredibly smart. But on the theatrical side, he's become it's the way like New Line built themselves up with scrappy little independent movies, and then now we got to be prestige. Now we got to be bigger. Now we have to. It's like, you know,
Yeah. Well,
it's like
I think we're at a time where it's just like everything has to be like, and I love this, but everything has to be MCU level that's coming out. That like it has to be that big, or
Yeah.
Fast and Furious or whatever. It has to be that big. Where so if you're pitching something and it's not big, like the way it works, you know, and you guys dealt with this, is you pitch to the execs and then they have to pitch to their bosses. And like, if they're not pitching their bosses the biggest thing in the world or like the hottest thing in the world in their minds, it's not going to move forward. And the hottest thing in their minds, the biggest things in their minds are very big things all the time. So it's small
I
movies
totally
all
agree.
just, you know, so it's like, yeah.
and yet not all big known properties are still translating into movies because how long have we heard them trying to make a Hot Wheels movie?
Oh, dude, my whole life. I can't remember the last time I haven't heard they were trying to make a movie.
By the way, they're coming out with a PlayStation 5 Hot Wheels game that looks dope. I can't wait to get that.
I love it. And in the world of Fast and the Furious now, why we don't have a Twisted Metal movie and a Hot Wheels movie is beyond me.
True. Very true.
I mean, Twisted Metal Black. I thought somebody was going to make that movie at one point.
I think it was the Ghost Rider guys were doing it at some point. Now they've talked about a TV show with it. Again, it's it's always this different thing.
Here's also what I don't get. Like, you know, I've read a lot. I obviously cover. I like the business of entertainment. I mean, that's what it really not. It doesn't translate to YouTube views, but I really do like the business of entertainment, and I think that Robservations is a channel I like to cover the business aspects of it. What I do not get about the industry right now is with all of these streaming services needing new content. Like, you know what fills up my Twitter feed on a Friday is Joe Bob's The Last Drive-In.
Mm-hmm.
And amazing engagement.
Yeah.
You see it all over the place, and it's like, oh my God, this is an amazing thing. Why the studios? This idea that we're going to spend 150 or 200 million dollars to make $1 billion a couple of times a year. I don't understand why the studios aren't working at the Blumhouse level and making $5 to $10 million films, cultivating new talent, and if they get something that's great, they can put it out theatrically or then exploit it over pay-per-view or SVOD. I mean, I don't get it. I really don't. I'm like, you need, there's more content is needed now than ever before, and yet all you're trying to do is make $150 million movies, which you can only do 2 or 3 times a year, if that.
Because it seems to be the majority of people are only, especially on the streaming services, that's what they're watching. If there's the majority, the masses are watching that. And the thing is, like, look, that's exactly how Charlie Band started. I mean, fucker was doing, I'm going to do a 3D movie. Universal goes, oh, you're doing a 3D movie? What is it? It's called Metal Storm. Now, not a great movie or anything like that, but bam, he got it, shot it for what he shot it for, made a pretty good profit on his end. And they had a 3D movie in the theaters, and there you go. And then he saw the proliferation of video and doing movies that, played little theaters and stuff like that, but then did big on video. I mean, it's crazy that so much has changed.
Well, I mean, it's changed because everyone's chasing a home run. And you don't build a business with a home run. You build a business with consistency. You want to get a base hit every time.
Well, it's like people are trying to build a building with just one big block, not bricks. Just like, boom, we just want to set it all down right there, and there it is. It's very strange.
But knowing that, the question is, what can we do to change that perception? I mean, it's strange to me.
Make smaller stuff that makes money. That's all they notice.
I got to think about that. I'll be right back.
Makes money. Yes,
But even Blumhouse,
yeah.
Lee Whannell's Invisible Man, an $8 million spend, and they made $100 million.
Yeah.
The problem is, in the executive levels, they look at that and they're like, well, we don't care.
Yeah.
An $8 million movie making $100 million is hugely profitable, but they're looking for $1 billion gross.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you released 10 $8 million movies a year and they all grossed $100 million, that's pretty good, because your a return on investment is enormous.
Yeah.
And yet, no one's doing that.
Yeah, well, Blum is, because he puts out, like, he doesn't knock it out of the park every time. There's some duds in there for sure, and you kind of like, you see those like kind of filtered in Netflix or something else, but like he just gets a couple and he's a champ. He's winning that game more than anybody else. And the thing is like, they can spend less money and do that, but at the same time, I mean, I have witnessed other people trying to recreate that model, where at least Blumhouse, in most cases, tries to recreate that model with some cool stuff. Like they trust some of their creators and kind of like try to swing for the fences, where other places, even at this low budget level, get scared and try to make something that's, kind of derivative or nothing.
Well, because they don't know. I mean, again, people that don't know movies, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which has always been a problem.
Yeah, Drew and I joked so much, like, and this was just the timing, was when The Wretched first hit for that summer, we got so many asks of like, hey, make something like it. It was always like, put a clown in it, or have it be in a small town, or have it be a bunch of nightmares that young kids have. That's the ask we got.
But you did do that. The Wretched is kind of that.
Well, yeah, no, we did that in our own film, but like even after we made that, that's what we're being asked to do. Like, well, it made a bunch of money, so just make it again.
Right.
Right.
That was the thing. It was just
it made a lot of money, in this weird movie Terrifiers got all the horror fans going crazy.
As if recreating it's easy. Just go recreate. Oh, okay, I'll get right on that. Stephen King, one of the biggest selling authors of all time.
Yeah.
I'll just emulate what he did.
Yeah, and it's working in its own right. It's working fine for all the people that like it, and everybody enjoys it and has a good time. So like, that's not going to be the thing that like knocks it out of the park next time. It's going to be the new it that's completely different, that works for everybody. So it's short-term thinking. So
let me ask you guys something, because I was thinking about this a little bit, just in sort of a hypothetical way. Do you think, franchises that are long lasting, but most of the time the film, I'm going with the assumption that, of course, we all want to make our own original stuff and everything, but if you had to, these titles and franchises that have been going on for years and years, but most of the time there's maybe one or two like really decent, like okay, movies in them. Yeah. Let's say Sleepaway Camp, for example, which I think, which I would say, the first one is effective for what it is, but but now, would doing something under a that sort of title be attractive to either of you at all? And the thing is, say Sleepaway Camp had like 7 sequels after it instead of just a few.
Yeah.
And they were all bad. But you're like, I could make a good one. But does it even, at this point, in time? Does it even matter, or has the title been just so shat on that it doesn't matter if the movie is actually
No,
good?
I think it's a really good question.
If you rise above and you go, oh shit, you know what? This motherfucker made an Amityville film that's actually good.
Yeah.
Is it worth doing, in that sort of way now or not?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's only worth it if I like have an idea where I'm kind of like, this is going to be like, I'm into it. It's like, I might fail, but I'm into it. Like, I love it. So, like, we've pitched on some franchise stuff in the last year, and every time it was the times that we pitched on those things because we were into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they let us do this, it's I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I think it's really freaking cool. So I'm going to take a shot at swinging at the fences with this right now. So I'm totally open to that anytime, but for the sake of just doing it, you guys know what I'm saying, based on just a franchise, it's not. But if you got like, you're like, well, I mean, I'm trying not to name any of the franchises we pitched on because a couple of them, like, I was like, I really love our idea. They didn't go for that, but I thought it was awesome, kind of type.
But what's funny about that is you probably know that franchise backwards and forwards way better than the people that you're pitching to. So the people that you're pitching to really don't know if your idea is good.
True.
All they know is the title is known.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's problematic. So you're trying to pitch, like, they want to make a new whatever the entry is in the franchise. They want to make it. They're having you come as filmmakers, but they themselves don't know enough about the franchise to know whether your ideas are good or not.
Yeah.
And that's what's weird to me. Like,
and the tough thing is too with some of these, I'm sure you found, is like your ideas only work because of the title of what that is. It's hard to adapt it and make it. Then it becomes just completely generic unless you have that title to go with it. Then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a weird. I mean, honestly, like right now, it's IP is the ruler of the universe. They just like. Right. I mean, really, like you get sent things from studios like this is all our IP, and you look at it, and you're kind of like, I don't even know if that's IP. I've heard of that movie,
right?
But you own it, so you're like, maybe you can remake it. So you get all that stuff. It's a little depressing in a weird way because you're like, what's going to be the new stuff? What are other people trying to remake?
That's the thing.
Then there's that too. We just continue to make, movies within a certain title group for the next 30 fucking years. It's like everyone's like, oh, I want another, like, perfect example, slasher movies.
Yeah.
The audience only seems to want Freddy, Jason, Leatherface,
and Michael
Myers. That's it. And that's it. It's like, and they're not, and it's like, but those things are fucking 40 years old now almost. It's like, don't you want a new, where's the new? It's just like the Universal monsters, and then we got the slashers. It's like, where's our new stuff? And we did get some. It's Final Destination, but a lot of the stuff was one of them that was like, oh, that's pretty fresh as far as a franchise goes, and Saw in its own right. But again, it's like, so yeah. So I mean, out of the modern era, what have we gotten at as far as like those characters that people love?
Zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, because you have Jigsaw would definitely be one of them. You'd have to give it to him.
I always wondered,
but even that's 20 years old.
Yeah. Early, but what is it?
2004,
nostalgia for in 15 years? Like nostalgia for nostalgia? It's like what are we all gonna like? I mean, I love the fact that they keep making some of these series of films because I love some of them so much. But I'm like, but we need new ones too, because we need something new to get excited about. Like we need new stuff to keep coming through. It's needed. So.
Which we're not getting.
And that's the thing. I mean, look, we tried to make a new slasher character, and for various reasons, it didn't hit off. I mean, there's a small pocket of people who like that character. But yeah, it's but Terrifier, that clown, it seems to be like for some I don't even quite understand it, because he's just another clown. I don't understand.
But the audience doesn't have the knowledge we have. They want things that are new, that are contemporary to them.
But I think horror fans, horror fans, I think they are knowledgeable. We've talked to them. We've all talked to them. It's like, they know their shit. So it's like, why does the clown from Terrifier become this thing where he's on t-shirts and they're doing dolls and they're doing all this stuff with this, which was a very small movie.
But Terrifier was theirs. It's funny.
Yeah.
As many times as I've seen Halloween, the first pre-recorded video cassette I ever owned, I can't go back and tell people, oh my God, you should watch Halloween. The film's 1978.
Yeah.
You can't ask them, even the way it's shot, the way it looks, it won't have any impact.
But they do. But they still go, because the one in 2018 made a buttload. And the thing is, I'm going, wait. What, didn't they do this in H2O with her having trauma and being an alcoholic and all this other shit? Wasn't this already covered, guys? Did you all forget? I was like,
yeah, we didn't have the internet to promote it.
I guess it was. That was kind of bizarre to me. It was like, wait, we already did this once, 20 years ago.
I honestly think a lot of the nostalgia stuff that we've been getting that isn't good. Occasionally, there's something good out of it that we've been getting. It's all going to get forgotten really fast, because we forget about movies so quickly now, because there's so much television and movies all the time. It's like, hey man, what you're like, I just saw this last week. Well, Loki's on right now. And you're like, oh, Loki, I'm into Loki. And I love Loki. Loki's a fantastic show. But it's like, there's no I'm never gonna I sound like an old man saying this. There's never be that savor for Empire Strikes Back. I only got 3 of these movies, and I gotta live and breathe them my whole life, because there might not be any more.
Right.
It's like, that's the way it's kind of working now. So it's a little different.
It's funny. I'm looking at the chat, and some Bill Barclay says there should be a new remake of The Blob. Guess what? They've been working on it for years now. They've offered it to Rob Zombie. They've offered it to James Wan. They're working on it. And another 20-year-old horror icons, Ghostface, Scream. And again, what are we getting? We're getting a new Scream, and they're copying exactly what the last Halloween did. They're just calling it Scream. I'm like, so the snake is eating its tail even more. It's like, we can't. Numbers now are a bad thing. We'll just call it what the original was.
Yeah.
And it's not even a remake. It's still a continuation. It's very, it's weird to me.
Yeah. No, it's a very weird time. It's like, we'll see how this stands. I know films from the, every era, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, they all have lasting power for different reasons. I'm so curious about the last 15 years. It's such a weird spot. We'll see how it works out.
They were making everything. How come we haven't gotten, besides that Suspiria remake, how come they haven't dived into remaking a lot of the Italian? Where's our Gates of Hell remake? Where's our Beyond
They don't know. They don't know.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
They have no idea.
It's IP. It's not Chutes and Ladders. They're not it's not Monopoly the movie.
By the way, you guys, you guys take it over. I must drain the main vein. I'll be back.
All right.
Speaking of Chutes and Ladders, so I found this artist, and I'm sorry, I don't have it recalled on right now on Instagram, and he has made horror posters on Operation, Chutes and Ladders, Mousetrap, Candyland, and they're really great. And you're like, Don't Break the Ice is one of them. It's crazy. So he took all these old board games and turned them into horror movie art, a horror movie poster art, and you go, I could buy that. And then I always remember it came around the time Battleship came out. Did you ever see someone did a Hungry Hippos Michael Bay poster? That was
fucking awesome. Yeah,
fucking amazing. I was just like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
Looking at going, I would see that. Like, give me a stupid movie.
Yeah.
In the theater that I can go see and have fun. And it doesn't have to be, $300 million. But
yeah.
Have you watched or seen anything good lately? What have you been looking besides Loki, which Loki's amazing, because I will say this.
Awesome.
I never knew I needed Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson together.
Oh, dude. Honestly, weirdly enough, it's like Owen Wilson's best gig ever.
Their chemistry together, and I never saw the Paris movie that they were in, I guess.
Yeah.
The Woody Allen movie. I didn't see that, so I didn't know they had actually. I was like, oh my god, where's this been all my life? These two together, it's like their chemistry is so good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about. Oh, I watched you ever see the TV? It's weird to say TV because that's the weird thing is TV is doing the more experimental, cool shit. They're playing around with shit more than movies are. So it's like you watch TV. So I watched a show I had no I didn't know what it was about, but I watched Dave on Hulu, which is
so great, so amazing, so amazing.
It's totally about something I don't care about. I don't care about watching some guy try to be a rapper and all this other stuff, but it's fantastic. It's a great show. Yeah. It's so good.
And the thing is, his music is great when he actually finally does it. It's fucking amazing. They're on season 2 now.
Yeah.
I saw the first episode of season 2.
Oh, really? I've only seen season 1. I just finished it.
Yeah, you're in great time because season 2 just started, and Dave is. I don't know if it's a hidden gem or not for people, but holy shit, it's so great.
Oh, dude, blows my mind.
So funny.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so it's so cinematic sometimes too. Like that last episode of the first season, I was just like, it blew my mind. I was like, this is TV. They're whooping her ass in movie theaters, man.
a lot of TV. I started watching the new King show. I'm going to fuck up the name. Lizzie's story. Lizzie's story.
Yeah.
Is the first. I've only seen the first episode so far. That's on Apple TV. It's really, it's really good. And it was like. I forget who. I know it's Julianne Moore and Jennifer Jason Leigh, who now seems to be popping up in everything.
Everything, yeah.
Which is awesome. No complaints there, but she's in everything. And is it what's her? There's someone else, and I didn't recognize her, and it was is it Joe? Fuck, I'm gonna fuck it up. I don't remember. But
I don't know either.
The new King show is actually really cool, really interesting. I don't know where it's going, but
I read the book. I'm curious to see what they did.
I didn't read the book, so this is a new one on me.
Yeah. Well, look. Horror it's never. Everyone's like, horror is back. It's never gone away.
Yeah. No, from the dawn of film, the first film was a fucking train coming at you and scared people and they ran out of the goddamn room. That's horror. It was like,
my favorite part is my brother and I go in meetings. There was horror. We're going to do horror now because that's where it's at. And I'm like, yeah, no fucking kidding. Horror's been making you guys money your whole lives.
Don't you love executives who don't even the history of their own company that they're working for? It's like, good job.
Yeah. It's like horror doesn't cost that much. It can cost $5 or $10 million or less. And it makes you a shit ton of money and you can be experimental with it and cool shit can come out of it. It's the best thing in the world to experiment on.
By the way, people are sending in chats.
Sweet.
Riley Parker comes back and says, I didn't work on Narnia, but I did work on the Ed Norton Hulk, which is very cool. That's a good thing.
That is.
And obviously Rhythm and Hughes were the go-to people to create creatures, realistic looking creatures, and the Hulk we had the legs of Mr. Tumnus and all that, but
and the Abomination.
So
Riley, since we share a last name, can we call on you to do visual effects for our movies for Hellathon?
Yeah, for the Raise Hellathon.
We need them because we need. We're going to need some. We'll integrate them with practical, though, guys.
Yeah.
And we're not going to do that bullshit they did with that Thing prequel where we're going to just CGI over the really cool practical shit.
Yeah, no, ridiculous. Shogun Orta asks, is the squeamishness due to the pandemic? I think Shogun Orta means in terms of studio bosses and executives and all that.
No, they've always been.
Yeah, they're always squeamish.
The problem is now when it became people who it was corporate run, when studios became corporate run instead, I think it became squeamish where people were just afraid to lose their fucking jobs. Yeah. And there's too many cooks in the kitchen, even just on the executive side of things. There's not a Bob Raimi or someone who just says, this is what we're doing.
No, and there should be. I mean, they can't because they have their corporate overlords. So they can't, and it's like, I'm not against corporations.
No.
I'm not. But the problem is corporate structure and corporate culture does not lend itself. It's antithetical to storytelling.
But let me ask you this. People who run corporations and executives, they're fans of movies. So don't they have, aren't their opinions, are their opinions worthwhile because they watch movies, they're fans of movies too.
But no one cares. No one cares about art. No one cares about, all they care about is how much money they're going to make because that's how corporations work. They have quarterly earnings statements. And profit and loss statements, and the only thing that matters now is money. So the idea that we ran into this in Warner Brothers 12 years ago. Warner Brothers was going to make 10 movies with Joel Silver. Ours was the second of 10.
Yeah,
Cheerleaders in Trouble is being prepped, and they just pulled the plug.
On everything.
On all the movies. They pulled the plug. It had nothing to do with box office grosses or anything, but they're like, why are we wasting our time making $4 million movies that'll make $20 million tops total?
And yet the funny thing is they continue, under the Warner Brothers banner, continue to make these things. They just did, with connection with the Sci-Fi Channel. They did a Critters movie. They did the Banana Splits movie. They've remade Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah.
They shot all these in South Africa. So they're continuing to make these movies for $2 to $4 million. Darren Scott did Deep Blue Sea 2.
Yep.
Universal does the 1440 movies where they've done a couple Tales from the Hood sequels. 1440 is also funding, which I bet is probably a little more, probably not a lot, but a little more. They're doing Rob Zombie's The Munsters, which I know everyone poo-poos and like dogs on. But the thing is this, I think everyone's selling that one short because Rob Zombie loved The Munsters as a kid. I don't think he's going to give us the Devil's Reject version of The Munsters. I think what he showed in House of a Thousand Corpses is a design and a style and everything. And I think we should be open to giving him a chance on this because I don't think they're going to do The Munsters as this R-rated or NC-17
No,
movie.
look, I'm all about that. I go into every project honestly wanting it to be great. Who wants a movie to be bad? The idea that you're rooting against a filmmaker is the most antithetical thing I can imagine. We want our filmmakers to make great movies. The problem is the filmmakers know how to do that. And yet they're being prevented from
they're being second guessed at every turn
by people that don't actually make the films, and it didn't used to be that way.
I mean,
20, 30 years ago, it was not that way.
Look at the problem that remember that and the thing is, you're a bigger fan of this poster than I am. Remember our marketing meeting for The Hills Run Red at Warner Brothers? They could have been like, why did we even have a meeting? Because they did one, and this was for the poster, Brett. One poster design. One poster design, that's it. And I mentioned, well, it looks like a cover of Fangoria magazine, and you use the same font as the Hills of Eyes remake. What the fuck are you doing? I couldn't be honest with them, because then I would have been labeled a problem. And I wanted to go, this is the laziest fucking thing you could have possibly done. But the
artwork itself was good, though. I felt what really bothered me was you created a logo for the Hills Run Red that's actually in the movie.
Right.
It's an in-universe thing that you created that they use in the film. And when you did your own movie poster mock-up, we used that logo, which was, by the way, fucking awesome.
It was much
that
more
you
metal.
made. It was so, and what I didn't understand was when I looked at their key art, which I loved. I love the artwork, but the font, like you said, was a ripoff.
I mean, no, it was the exact font from the Hills of Eyes remake. And the thing is this, people didn't rent the movie because they thought it was a Hills Have Eyes ripoff because of the font that they chose. They made it look so fucking derivative of everything else. It's like,
but
they didn't want to hear it.
You guys should explain to everybody watching the nightmare of seeing like the artwork that people want to sell your movie on.
It was,
you didn't control it all the time. Yeah.
Well, what was interesting to me was like I thought the artwork they picked was it was really great, but I like Dave. I was perplexed. I'm like, your font doesn't fit. So you're putting this font on this artwork. Your font is like Trajan. It's like the John Carpenter font or whatever. And I'm like, that doesn't work. It's totally incongruous with the image you've chosen to sell this movie. And I'm like, our artwork, this sort of throwback to the 70s, and it looks great. It's a logo that Dave designed. We use it in the trailer. It's really good. That logo put on the poster that they came up with would be fucking golden. It would be so much better. And what I don't get is, I would have thought, this isn't just my opinion, it's self-evident. Like, if you asked 100 people and you put these things together, everybody would say that the logo Dave came up with, I don't even know if the marketing people at Warner Brothers knew that logo existed. But it's you look at this, and like you said, you get the artwork back, and you're looking at it going, really, guys? Like, did you really watch this movie? Like, I always feel when I go into these meetings that I am convinced that nobody in Hollywood actually does the work. They haven't read the scripts.
No.
They're all faking it. All of them. They're all faking it. And like, even when you send somebody your movie before you meet with them, they don't watch it.
Oh, no. Maybe their assistant saw it.
Yeah, they're completely bullshitting you. And I'm like, why is it that we're having this meeting then?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
And do you remember? We're sitting there with several people. I'll never forget. And there was the one marketing girl who was there. And she was basically taking a nap at the table while we were there. It's like, you know, and the thing is, you're a B-level director in their eyes. They don't give a fuck about you. So you can't, you know, if I had called her out and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a late night? Am I taking up your fucking time?" That would have been it. I would have been barred from the lot. It's just like the amount. It's like, again, you know, you gotta. I guess you do. You have to earn the respect and everything. But it was just like, you know, who the fuck are you? It's like,
well, that's the problem. The filmmakers
so
who've delivered movies, it used to be like, "Oh, you delivered. We'd like to hire you again." Nowadays, real good, great filmmakers can't even get work because we're going to hire the hot actor who wants to direct. They're going to. I think I read 3 stories in Deadline today about actors who are getting directing jobs.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
at least 2.
wow, okay.
Yeah.
Who was one of them? Some what actress? It was a big actress too. It was
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like someone like, oh, she's gonna make her directorial debut. But I mean, that's the thing. If it's like, I don't know. I mean, Brett, you might be meeting with him. I don't know. I it's like, I know development executives at Blumhouse. I couldn't get a meeting there. No way. No way. We know a mutual friend, I'm sure. At Blumhouse.
I mean, it's mixed everywhere. I meet good people in places where I'm like, man, I really like this person's like story sensibilities. I have a creative vibe with them that I trust. Then I have but at the same time, it's like I've been down the road those people with the best intentions, and then it ends in a moment that I'm not party to. You know what I'm saying? It's like I pitched it, we pushed it, everybody's on board, and then somebody says no that I've never got to tell them why it works. That's where it ended. And that's the hard part more than anything else, just because not that the people you aren't talking to are not doing a good job of explaining to the next level about where it's going, but it's like, I just know me, and I know like you guys, like we're the filmmakers, is nobody's going to love it like we do. It's very to sell it like we do, and like you need to be able to do that, and it's an ineffective like situation. It doesn't make.
To say the least.
And 100% right. Yeah. And I gotta say, look, with all this sort of like complaining about this, guys, I'm not saying that The Hills Run Red is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It is what it is. And
but it's a good movie, and you guys killed yourself on it, and you can finish a movie, you can tell a story, which 99% of people can't do.
But I just wanted to make that clear to people, so they didn't think I was going, this movie was fucking Gone with the Wind and it was not recognized. It's like, no, I know what the movie is. Right. And even our executive producer who was on last week, he's talking about, I'm doing this remake and I'm doing this other horror thing and stuff like that. Oh, I didn't call you, Dave, because, it's like, yeah, I know why you didn't call, because I'm not, the hot wonderkin flavor of the day or anything else. It's like, that's fine. I get, it's like, I certainly get my position. So I just didn't want people to think that we're also talking about this delusionally, like, oh my God, we made this masterpiece that no one saw. I mean, maybe a cult drive-in masterpiece someday, in the convention circuit, another 20 years, give it, and people, then there'll be T-shirts or something like that.
Yeah.
By the way,
future man,
it'll be like humongous. In another 20 years, I'll get to the humongous level of variety.
Twin Flicks sends in a super chat and says, Variety said a Terminator anime is in the works. Okay.
That's some place to go with it, I guess.
I would look at the
Can't
Sarah
be any
Connor
worse than any of the fucking sequels.
No,
after 2.
I mean it's yeah.
Though I think 3 is much maligned. The Jonathan Mostow's action scenes in 3 were amazing.
No, I thought they were.
The ending.
The ending of 3 is awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
yeah. It's got its own problems, but it's a overly criticized movie. It's actually a pretty decent movie. So
I agree. Hey, look, I'm a Terminator Salvation fan. A lot of people are like, what?
But the thing is, there's good stuff in that movie.
There is.
There's giant robots in that movie.
Yeah. And the future war stuff. Stubble McShave, by the way, says the MCU had a great first album with over 20 songs. They're now doing their dreaded second album. What do you think the theme will be of the second album? That's interesting. I mean, if you consider the Infinity Saga as one album,
so that's like Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah. Okay, that's Dark Side of the Moon. And now they're trying to figure out what their sophomore album is going to be to follow up the.
Okay, we haven't even gotten one MCU movie yet, so it's kind of hard to judge. But I gotta say, WandaVision is fantastic. I love WandaVision. It's great. Beautiful TV. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was halvesies on. There's some great stuff in there, but it didn't totally work for me.
Yep.
But so far, Loki's fucking awesome. But I
Yep,
would say
I agree.
Killing it.
Yeah,
Killing it.
WandaVision and Loki are aces, man. It's
I
about
agree.
as we can get.
And I think the thing is, those two are really expanding things in a really cool way with what's happened. Where Falcon and Winter Soldier did a little bit, but I don't know. I enjoyed watching that, but I'm with you. I don't know what it was exactly about that didn't like WandaVision did.
It had good stuff. It was just a little clunky. Like some things about it were great, but it would be like, I don't understand why the bad guys are doing what they're doing, and I don't understand why there's these like they keep on saying like there's these camps of people that have been displaced, but I've never seen any of them, and I don't understand why they're upset. It's like it's just not expressed in a good way.
I would say to speak in the defense of that show.
Yeah.
It was the first one they were doing, and the pandemic hit, and it was actually about a pandemic.
Yeah.
So they had to literally change it and reshoot a lot of it. So
yeah,
I feel it didn't work as well as they wanted it to.
Yeah.
But you said Loki was being shot during the pandemic as well.
Yeah, but the story wasn't. They didn't have to rejigger the story. They stuck to their original script.
I'll say this.
It's terrible. It's just not. Doesn't. It's just a little clunky.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
But I'll say this: the thing that's interesting about WandaVision and Loki is it's the casting of Catherine Hahn and Owen Wilson. Those are the things that I think are really making those things stand out. These unexpected casting things that really, really work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you went to the bathroom, Rob, we were going off on how I had not experienced the Tom Hiddleston, Owen Wilson pairing together before, and the chemistry with those two is so great.
Oh well, they were in Midnight in Paris together.
But I didn't see that. We covered this. I hadn't seen that, so to me, it's all new and and really exciting. So I'm waiting for the third album, guys, because I'm waiting when they go Frank Zappa and I finally get to do the Man-Thing movie the right way.
I'm a big MCU fan, though. I gotta say, like, I know people right now are kind of negative about the MCU, but I'm with you, man. I'm like, dude, they're swinging for the fences and they're like taking risks. Good on those guys, man.
I am a huge MCU fan. What they're doing is unprecedented, and the criticism they get's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think. Well, of course, the more successful you are, the more criticism you're going to get. But I'm telling you, I'm serious too, because if they did Groot, I'm telling you, and the thing is, I miss my chance at least right now with Swamp Thing. If there had been a season 2 of Swamp Thing, there was a very good chance I was going to work on that show, which kills me that was canceled like the day it fucking premiered, because that's a really good show. If people haven't seen Swamp Thing, it's a really fun show.
And Swamp Thing looked amazing.
Amazing. And Derek Mears was so fucking great as Swamp Thing, and the nicest fucking guy in the world. And now I'm rambling, but I'm telling you, if they did Howard the Duck and they did Groot, Man-Thing is the protector of the nexus of all realities. Do not tell me that he is not going to play a part in this somehow, some way.
I agree. I think you might see Man-Thing show up.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi is all about Man-Thing. It's just the name is terrible.
Well, you know what the thing is, like, we should really appreciate in this moment that, like, there's TV shows coming on about Marvel where it's basically like, if you didn't watch the movies, you're screwed.
Right.
But guess what? They don't care. And that's awesome. It's like, we're so deep in it that, like, complaining about it, I'm like, it frustrates me, because I'm kind of like, guys, we're getting the golden stuff we always wanted.
Yep.
Love it so much. It's so good.
and done so well. I'll say this. I'll wait for the third album too for this, because I think it's going to be the third albm, Alpha Flight.
Oh, look, I'd love to see Alpha Flight and the X-Men and all that. No, for sure. By the way, Wakajasi says, great to jump in, however briefly. I had a crazy lag and audio overlay. Headphones were plugged in. Hope to chat again in the future. Thanks, guys. Look, let me just
Absolutely.
say, anyone from Japan is welcome here because I will ask you many questions and then make you buy me stuff. I'll pay for it. I don't mean you have to buy it for me, but I'm like, can you order this for me? Because I'd really like to get this. You know,
guys, do you know, in Japan, they have all these little theme bars. They have many theme things, but they have these they're like micro bars that can hold like 6 people or something like that. My friend went to a Suspiria theme bar in Japan.
Well, yeah. This is why Japan is
amazing.
Amazing. I want to go my whole life. I was going to go in 2010 to see the live action space battleship Yamato premiere, but I didn't. I haven't been there. But all I know is that I need to sell a project because I would need $100,000 in disposable income just to buy Japanese die-cast super robots. Yes, you laugh. Laugh all you want.
And then you would need another $100,000 for the shipping container to actually ship
I know.
it back
Well,
there.
yes. I'm not saying I'm practical. Come on now.
You gotta. I'm telling you, the Burnettwork is growing. This is all possible, man.
No, the Burnettwork barely sustains my life. Just so you know.
But it does.
Wait, so it's like filmmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. You know what? Darren Scott, our friend Darren Scott, who did Tales from the Hood 2 and 3, and he said something that has resonated with me for so long. He said, "We've all become professional hobbyists," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up." Our lifelong avocation of making films is, we have to go convince people, and there might be something that was on CNN this morning that pissed off the executive that you're pitching to that doesn't care.
Right,
they're not even thinking about you.
Yeah.
And it's,
it's. I know, and this is, and there's a guy who was the producer on Menace to Society. They did Fear of the Black Hat, which is still the best spinal. Forget CB4, guys. If you haven't seen Fear of the Black Hat, go search that movie out because it's way better than CB4. It's amazing. That he. I mean, I've been lucky to know Darren for so long, and he's been a mentor and just a friend for so long. And it's just like, and he's done these things, and he struggles just like the rest of us.
It's never easy.
No.
Yeah.
Don't.
By the way, Norwegian Kryptonian says, pardon me. Twin Flick says the Terminator anime is set in a future focusing on the T-100. Again, I'm like, okay.
Been there, done that, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, the Terminator franchise is played out. Why can't someone say, okay, this franchise has come to an end?
Yeah.
Multiple times.
The only thing I wish would happen, which will never happen because he's too busy making Avatar movies, is if Cameron came back and did one.
Well, he was a producer on Dark Fate.
I don't care. No.
I was
really invested. Wrote it and directed it.
Wait, what are you going to say, Brett?
I was going to say Terminator versus RoboCop. I would pay to see that movie in any world. I mean,
well, there's a comic book series. They did the
Frank Miller comic. It's amazing. It's
and a video game.
The best Terminator 3 I ever read. I want to see the movie so bad. So yeah.
Norwegian Kryptonian says, "This is great." No. Come on now. I'm reading this. I'm trying to figure out which. Come on. If the laugh all you want, fuzzball. Hang on. This is a good question. Norwegian.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Norwegian Kryptonian. This is a good question. If the MCU so far is Dark Side of the Moon, PF follow that up with Pink Floyd, follow that up with Wish You Were Here, Animals, and The Wall. So, by that measurement, the MCU is good. I'm like, I would, as a Pink Floyd fan, I'd say, yeah, I think so. I think that's, I think that's Wish You Were Here. First of all, I love Wish You Were Here, Animals, and The Wall. So yeah, I would say that's a good thing. I agree. What do you guys think?
I mean,
think that's I think that is good.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And they spend so much time. They provide grand entertainment. To nitpick this stuff is like, I mean, I'm one to nitpick everything, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they are going out of their way to deliver the best quality entertainment they can that's also canonical to their own universe, and they're inspiring. They're taking all their movies right out of the pages of the comic. What's not to love?
They're charting new territory.
They're forward thinking.
Who has ever done that? And like my brother, I always tell my brother, I'm like, if I can ever pull off, or we can pull off Infinity War and Endgame in any capacity, I've won. I've done the magic trick that everybody's trying to pull off.
Yep.
So kudos to those people because they did it.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if there was for me personally, if there was a Marvel for the horror genre?
Oh man, dude, I'd flip
that treated it the same way and built to a climactic convolence of all these things together. It would be amazing.
Dude, I am with you.
Quickly, I just want to address one thing in the chat. NR says, Dave, there's this awesome band called Avatar from Sweden. They should at least get to do a song for the movie and get a cameo. Just so you know, NR, I've looked up Avatar. I've listened to their stuff. It's good. The thing is, they're really funny. The lead singer is a fucking comedian, basically. He's really funny, and it's worth checking out. So I just wanted to hit that because he's hit us up before about that band. So I'm aware of him.
Well, that's good. Well, then I would say that Ron C is sending in super chats and says, "Gentlemen, metal morning. Question for all. Once the screenplay is complete, what is your sequence of action before your very first shot on the set? Your pet peeve? Do you have a scenario weekend?" And then Ron C goes, "Sorry, Rob, it's have a scenario weekend." Yes, I think I got that. That's a really good question. I think that once you have a screenplay, what is your sequence of action before your very first shot? To the two of you, what would you say to that?
I mean, like the day of?
Yeah, I think that like you've got your script and you're preparing for the day of. Like what's involved in that? How do you get to your first shot? How do you do that? Do you storyboard? Do you do animatics? Do you act it out? Do you read it to each other? How does that happen?
My brother and I storyboard everything. We shot list everything before we shoot, just because we know we have not a lot of money, so that's why we do it. But also because it's good to do that. But the day of is always like, I'm like, call time might be 7 a.m. So my brother and I up at 5:30, and we walk the set and we just talk about it for like an hour, and we go like, okay, we're doing it here, we're doing it here. This is what we're gonna do. All right. That's today. And then everybody shows up like an hour later, and we're kind of like, hey, high five. We love all you guys. So glad you're here. All right, this is what we're doing.
Well, that's the way to be. You don't do that with your first AD, though?
I do it with him. He comes in.
Once they arrive, but he's saying he does it before.
My brother and I, we just kind of go through it because, in a weird way, it's like as much as we've storyboarded and the script's written, we kind of like that idea of, on the day, let's just look at it one more time with outside eyes and go maybe something's not working as good as it could, or maybe we can make this better.
Yep.
And that's usually what we do. So,
nice.
Yeah, that's the check down.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Dave.
If you don't want to know what I do, that's fine.
No, I do want to know what you do. That's why I said, go ahead, Dave. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to throw it back to you anyway.
No.
And I was going to ask you another question.
Well, I are you guys familiar with The Quick and the Dead?
Oh yeah,
Sam Raimi's movie. Of course.
Yeah. So my process is before the last day, Gene Hackman just cleaning out his gun in the morning and just sitting there doing that, basically. No, beforehand, I don't have a brother to go to the set with and confab with. So I
it makes it
You
so
have a
much easier.
figurative brother.
well, I do, but
on now.
the thing is, what I do is I even before the DP, before the AD,
Right.
ideally the DP and I go through it, and we've already storyboarded or done the overhead grid thing, which I find very helpful, where we plan out the shots and where the moves are and everything. And that way I've done the shot list, and we might do that instead of storyboards again, because I can't draw. And we go through that and then sort of look at the potential problems that you might not have figured out. That's if you're lucky enough to know the location you're shooting at before you get there.
Right.
And sometimes you don't. So sometimes you have to adapt. And to me, it's the process of knowing all the things that you want to get and being that prepared. So when you inevitably run out of time, where you can, at least for me being an editor, where I can look at things and cut shots out and do a shorthand and go, well, I can cut these setups out if I get this insert, say, and then I can jump to this. So it's all about trying to, at least on the technical side of it, problem solve as much as you can before you actually start shooting. Now, you might have things with actors that are unpredictable, or effects, or things that might not work.
Yeah.
And it's always about trying to, at the very least, you have your A plan, but also have at least a B plan if things aren't going smoothly. And and really it's all about, when the crew gets there, being ready to go right away, as quick as possible.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And not, I mean, there's nothing worse than waiting from first call an hour and a half to get your first shot off. I like to try to do that within an hour, if not shorter, to get the first shot off.
Yep.
That always makes the executives feel better
It
too.
sets the tone too. Gentlemen, we must end this show.
I know.
Yes.
We have to end the show. Not that I'm not loving this, but it's 3.5 hours long. Dave's like, we don't have to go 4 hours. He was saying that to me this afternoon.
I always say it, but I don't mind. But you're the one who, it's your show, Bear.
It's your show, Bear. I got to watch talk radio again. I haven't seen it in a long time. I think we should end on a high note. This was a good high note. This was a great show. We had a lot of people. It was very cool. Brett, it was great to see you. This is amazing.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure.
We got to get to the three of us all got to get together and
let's
talk
go
about this thing and see what the reality is.
Let's go to Lucky Baldwin's, man. Come on.
I have to, Rob, because I have to get up there to sign Dieter's Blu-ray.
Yes, Dieter's had. I
know.
He would love it.
Let's happen in the next week.
Perfect. Let's do that.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. So, gentlemen, everyone. First of all, I want to thank everyone for watching the show. I want to thank everybody who generously supports the channel through tips and super chats. Thank you so much. If you want to send us letters, you can at the Burnettwork.net website. And also, I want to thank our great moderators. We have the Richard here. Twin Flicks is here. I don't know. Let's see. Who else is Twin Flicks, you guys? I think it's... it goes back and it doesn't say anymore. I don't know. But the Richard and Twin Flicks, thank you for being here moderating. Those blue wrenches make the channel.
How do you tell who's a moderator, Rob?
They have blue wrenches next to their names.
So was Bunyan was here for a while.
Oh, Bunyan Snipe? Well, then thank you, Bunyan. He's a moderator. Yes.
Yep. Okay. I'm learning. I'm learning, guys.
So, yes. And they carry those wrenches to get anyone who's unruly out of the chat. So thank you.
Oh, and M.
Oh yeah, yes. She's also a moderator. She was here. Yes.
Yep.
My
She's
coworker.
still here.
Oh well, there
Still
you go. You know, because it's funny because the live chat I can't. As you're going, is you can only go back so far.
Right.
And I can only see so far. Yeah. Oh, I see Bunyan Snipe. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes. So everyone. And I want to thank everybody that was on the show tonight. I want to thank Andre, Brett Pierce of one half of Los Bros Pierce. You must get The Wretched. Where can they see The Wretched? On Hulu?
It's on Hulu in the States. And
Blu-ray on Amazon?
And Blu-ray. On Blu-ray on Amazon.
And if you know Dieter Bastian,
Yeah,
You can have a 4K copy of it on disc.
exactly.
Oh wait,
Just
Rob.
saying.
Before we totally wrap this up, Richard is going. There's another tip. The Richard, please fill us in here.
No, I mean Ron C was all I saw. He asked about. He said have a scenario weekend when he.
I'm just saying the Richard said there's another tip. I don't know. I'm just repeating like a macaw.
Well, I'm just looking at we had Twin Flicks.
Oh, at Saber Wolf, I guess.
We did Saber Wolf. Remember we talked about Saber Wolf.
We did Saber Wolf. I said that name was very metal.
Yeah, it is very metal. Saber Wolf
Okay.
is one of the most metal names ever.
That's true.
And I want to say Wakazashi. I'm sorry it didn't quite work out, but please come on again. All the way from Japan.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll talk to anyone in Japan. Thank God I love people from Japan, even if you're
He's
an
turning
expat.
Japanese.
Well, he did. He married a Japanese girl, which, by the way, well done. Nicely done, sir. I really think so. But anyway, so... yeah, so there we go. I think we're all caught up. Everything is all good. I just want to, again, thank everyone. Thank the moderators. It's great to have people here. You make the channel what it is. I'll be back with Dieter Bastian at 11 a.m. today, which is one of the reasons I have to go, because that's in 7.5 hours. And I need to sleep at some point, where we're going to talk about Let's Get Physical Media. And I will talk about my impressions of the Basic Instinct 4K disc and the Raiders disc, which I finally got. Spoiler alert, there's way too much teal in the Basic Instinct. I mean, it was...
Oh, you should have left him hanging. You should have said there's just too much teal in one of them.
No, there's too much teal. The disc looks fantastic. It's sharp, but my God, if you can involve the DP, please do so, because there was not that much teal in the original film, and there's way too much. But doesn't mean it's not a good release. We'll talk about that later today.
And I will just say, for my part, that though I don't have the Indiana Jones 4K, I have been watching the Lord of the Rings 4K this weekend, and holy shit, is that beautiful.
Yep. So
Absolutely
is Raiders,
gorgeous.
by the way. The Raiders 4K disc
I'm
is way better.
I'm waiting for Prime Day, sir.
Oh, well, okay.
I might get a deal on Prime Day.
They haven't even got their discs yet. I canceled
No,
my
they do.
got
They
it
do.
Oh, did they finally get it?
Oh, they do.
I got mine from Zavi. Thank you very much. Just saying.
Just keep me posted on that, Martin. That's
Yeah,
all.
I'm waiting.
With
Second
Zavi.
Sight, they're killing it.
When Zavi puts that up, you got to let me know.
And Lake Mungo, I got to get that too. Well, all of you gentlemen, Dave, Brett, I want to thank you for being on Midnight Metal. I want to thank all the viewers. We will be back next week. Tomorrow,
with a special guest, I think, maybe.
Yes, we have a
an extra special guest.
Yes.
We had special guests all night, but maybe a outside the box guest,
which would be good. And I'm working on more guests too. This is the most fun late night show on YouTube. Come on, man! International audience, what's up?
And I didn't hurl. I didn't puke.
Dave, I'm feeling good about that. So, gentlemen, boys and girls, kind souls, gentle beings from across these 28 known galaxies, I want to thank you for being here at Midnight Metal 25. This was supposed to be a one-off joke stream, just like Fully Articulated, and we've done 25 episodes.
No, it's 25 jokes.
It's amazing. I want to thank you for all that.
And remember, give some love to your wieners.
Yeah.
And oh my God, Wiener Kill 2 premiered on this show, thanks to Diesel Time. And remember,
Diesel.
every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And all you have to do is listen, unless you're listening to Midnight Metal, in which case your hearing should be going out. So there you go.
Because you are all righteous metal brethren.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Good evening.
Thanks, Brett.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Brett.
I'll see you at Lucky Baldwin's.
Yes, my God.
Bye, boys.
Gentlemen,